Yeah. I know. Yeah. And show roads. Yeah. That engineering mind.
We've reached the finale of the Mode Classic in its inaugural season, 2026, presented by James Sprague here at the Mode campus in Liberty Lake, Washington. 5 events in the books. The 6th and final event, Endgame, on tap. We're going to have the Elite Men leading straight into the Elite Women as they close things out here on the 2-day competition. The RX divisions just finished up. All official results can be found on Competition Corners. Search for Mode Classic 2026. Final event, Endgame, 3 rounds, 20, 15, 10. Strict handstand push-ups, 20 calorie rows for the men after each set. Directly into 3 rounds of 20 med ball GHD sit-ups with a 20-pound med ball and 50 feet overhead walking lunges. There was a change. They're not using barbells for this. It's dumbbells, so apologize for the change there. Double dumbbell overhead walking lunge instead. This one's presented by Jocko Fuel. Jocko, a huge supporter of James in general and supporting all the athletes and volunteers all weekend long. They've been provided unlimited malt, energy drinks, and hydration. In fact, I have the Lemon Lime Hydrate right next to me to help me get through this last one. First heat of men is out there on the floor. Down to 18 in this division. Jacob Stoller is going to be in lane 2, closest to us. Cody Nathaniel and Maddox Metcalf will round out the heat. For the final time, these 3 guys are going to get action underway. And Jacob closest to us there. Cody in the middle, Maddox Metcalf furthest from us. And I've been having a lot of conversations with the athletes about this one. And certainly, as we saw from Cody, you can go for it on the handstand push-ups, but you really got to trust the shoulder stamina in the long run here, because those lunges with a pair of 60-pound dumbbells, 3 rounds of 50 feet, in addition to the handstand push-ups, the rowing, which is, not necessarily the most taxing, but it all adds up, and those med ball GHG sit-ups with a 20-pound med ball. I actually did this workout with James and another buddy a couple days ago. I did not do the med ball on the GHGs, but they did, and they both said that it was definitely the hardest part of this one. So Metcalf getting off the row. He'll head back to the handstand push-ups. Stolar on a row, and Cody there in the middle clearly has high capacity for the strict handstand push-up. He's going to come down, take a little break there, but he's looked very strong on those throughout the beginning part of this one. Cody off the wall again and back to the row. A cameo for James Sprague there. I don't think there's a single job involved with the Mode Classic that he hasn't been involved with. Stolar kicks down. Hand up on the rower there for Cody. And last set of handstand push-ups coming up for Cody. As you see, those are going down in rep 20-15-10, so this will be the set of 10. We will have one more row after that before making his way across the floor for the first of 3 sets of med ball GHD sit-ups. We're just about at the 4-minute mark. We'll try to keep track of the split times for athletes getting done with the first part of this. For some athletes, the strict handstand push-ups will be a limiter here. For those that have them in this volume, it's going to come down to that second part for sure. Metcalf into the rower again. Cody getting close to finishing the first part of this one. Just past 5 minutes. Call it about a 5-10 split for Cody. He'll make his way down the floor to the med ball GHDs. 20 reps here. We've seen these in competition this year a couple times at the World Fitness Project, and you'll see right away that he's holding on to this ball the entire time. Most of the top athletes in the sport, when they get it back up to their lap, will drop it into their thighs and roll it forward, decrease the time under tension that they have to hold that thing. I would probably recommend that, especially when you're coupling it with other shoulder demanding movements like the strict handstand push-up and the double dumbbell overhead walking lunge like these athletes have to deal with. Maddox Metcalf coming to join him, less than a minute behind. And Metcalf, I'm not sure if you can see it, but he is doing the technique where you place it on your lap and roll it towards the rig. Cody's going to make his way down the floor to the dumbbells for the first time, and you'll be able to see Maddox do that now. And just massively advantageous over 60 reps like these athletes are going to have to take on. Cody strapping up for a belt for this overhead walking lunge. As soon as he gets those dumbbells up, we'll switch over and see where he's at. Stolar on the rower on the other side of the floor. Hand up for Metcalf. Just making good work on these GHGs. Cody taking a big rest is actually going to allow Maddox to catch up to him. It's 50 feet. You can take a break after 25, and immediately we see what I would call a compromised overhead position for Cody. Those are 60-pound dumbbells. Keep in mind that Maddox Metcalf is 16 years old. He has some skill sets that are quite unusual for a man of his age, and his strength and stability in the overhead position looking pretty good on that first set of 25. Both athletes are going to take a break here before the second set. Stolar is going to dismount the row and head across to the GHD as we approach 8 minutes into this 15-minute time cap. Stolar's got some tape on that shoulder and he's shaking it out, so maybe a little bit of an injury and not able to necessarily do full capacity that we could see from him in a different circumstance. Metcalf with the dumbbells back up has now taken over the lead from Cody Nagel, and he's going to it's interesting with the transitions here, as you'll see throughout the heats. He's going to set this down and immediately get on the GHD, where in the previous transition he had the full length of the floor to recover, so to speak. Let's see if Cody can finish this set out. That left arm is compressing every time that he gets down into the bottom of the lunge. He's going to make that work, but as this one wears on, we'll have to keep an eye on that. It could become a problem for him eventually. So all three men in heat 1 of 4 on the GHD. Stolar is going to finish up his first set of 20. Metcalf and Cody both on second set of 20 here. Stolar belting up on the far side of the floor. Hand up for Maddox. Cody continuing to hold onto that ball the entire time, just not buying those shoulders any rest. Metcalf, final rep here. And the dumbbells again immediately in front of him. So no opportunity to rest on these middle two transitions, whereas you'll see the two times that the athletes get to traverse the whole floor between movements. That's a built-in rest. Metcalf going to get the dumbbells up fairly quickly. We'll expect a break at the 25-foot mark. And Metcalf, final step. He'll get it done. Stolar halfway done of his first set of walking lunges heading towards us. And Cody taking a break here on the GHD. Stolar is going to get him back up. A little bit shaky there. Big break here for Metcalf. And Stolar will finish that set out. Cody finishes up a set of GHDs. Maddox going to be coming into screen here. See if he can finish up this set. And he's going to traverse the whole floor after that back for his third and final set of Medball GHD sit-ups. Jocko Fuel, the presenting partner for this workout. I think I'll take a sip. Made me thirsty just saying it. Lemon lime electrolyte. Highly recommend. Cody's going to get him back up for another set of lunges here. He's moving a little bit more quickly, I think, realizing that he's got a limited amount of time with those dumbbells overhead on each set. And, man, that is really close to what I imagine would be the standard, which is that a dumbbell can't come below the top of the head. Stolar's going to finish up his second set and head to the dumbbells that are right in front of him. Metcalf leading the heat right now. 12 and a half minutes in, so 2.5 minutes to go. Metcalf's got 5 reps remaining, plus 1 more set of lunges. He was about 40 seconds behind Cody getting off the first part, but quickly caught up to him. And he's going to be in position to take a heat win here to close out the Mode Classic. He's 16 years old. This is his first time competing in an elite men's division. And he's definitely proven that he's got at least the strength to be in this field, which is something that a lot of athletes his age would be missing. And Cody, you see, is going to get a no rep there as Maddox picks him up. And he's going to start back down the floor for the final time. And, you know, he's probably not going to want to put these down. We'll see if he has to. His overhead position, by far the best of the 3 in this division. And this is where we're going to see if he chooses to take that break or not. He will do that. As much as it's tempting to go for it, we've seen even athletes at the highest level try to take that risk. You think back to WFP Tour Stop 1. Many athletes trying to go for that second one and not making it. Hello, James Sprague.
Hello, Brian Friends. We got a finisher coming up.
Yeah, he's very close to the end. I was just commenting how impressive his strength and overhead position is at 16 years old.
Yes. It's such a crucial thing to be strong at in our sport. We're supporting overhead in so many different positions with push jerks, snatches, handstand walks. You know, if you're lacking in overhead stability, it gets exposed a lot in our sport. So it's a good thing to be strong at, Maddox. What a competition. First time elite male ever.
Yeah, and I was saying, because I was, you know, his positioning looks so good, and you see the finish line right there.
Yep.
The rules allow for you to break at 25, but it's tempting to go for 50. But you'll remember WFP1.
Oh, yeah.
And athlete after athlete that had that same opportunity went for it and missed. And
100%.
I think he made a very smart choice for a young man there to take the break and make sure he could finish it without missing.
Yeah, I was coaching him back there. We were talking about strategy, him and his girlfriend Zoe, and we made sure to address that breaking and taking a second and being sure of it is much more smart than not doing that.
Well, Maddox Metcalf will set the score to beat in heat number 1. 14-20 unofficially. Only finisher in that heat. And, you know, he wasn't the first one done with the first half.
No.
But that overhead position really paid off for him in the end.
Yeah, when I did this workout, Brian, the first 3 rounds took 4 minutes, and the next 3 took 5 minutes. So my total time was 9 minutes. So obviously that second part is a little bit more weighted. As long as you have the prerequisite skill of the strict handstand push-up, it really comes down to that overhead lunge GHD. And that med ball is heavy, dude. 60 reps of that, they're going to be feeling the effects of that a lot. There's been no trunk flexion up to this point, so I feel like I had to dose it pretty heavily.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, those are the little details that until you talk to someone who's programming competition like this, you don't necessarily realize.
Great job.
Everything that goes into it. Here's Jacob Stolar coming over to thank you for everything this weekend.
It's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of awesome comments, a lot of people just giving praises to the event and the volunteers. Just saying thank you. Every thank you means a lot. Obviously, it's a lot of work to put on, but, you know, like I said at the beginning of the weekend, Brian, just seeing one person inspired or happy or having good takeaways was all I needed, and it sounds like everyone's having those, so I'm pretty stoked.
Wow, these Lycan GHDs look like they were just assembled very well.
Yeah. Brian, we spent some time in the trenches together. Those were big days, weren't they? A lot harder days than now. We're through the rough patch. Yeah, the first one I put together, I did not have a power tool, and so I was screwing everything in by hand, and I couldn't even get them tight enough. And that was even before Brian was here. I think it took me 2 hours to do one without the power tool.
I saw you doing that, and I was like, James, I think we got to find you a drill.
Yeah, I'm glad we found that. But, just a blue-collar guy here.
Get it done anyway.
Get it done anyway. Okay, heat 2. Who do we got?
Jose Rios is going to be in lane number 1 closest to us. We see him walking towards us there. And then down on the other side of the floor, Connor Hartman seems to be wearing all black all day today. Jonathan Stevens, middle of the floor, Isaac Say, and Troy Bonsgard.
Come on.
Curious to see how Troy does on this one.
Me too. I know he's going to crush the buy-in. His stricter, pretty elite level. They're better than mine. That's not saying much, though, but they are better than mine. And I did this workout unbroken.
You did, in fact. Yeah. You were unbroken.
So I think that Troy is going to be able to show the same. The rowing capacity here, rowing is really standalone movement. It's not going to affect the other movements. So a lot of athletes can push the pace on the rower if they would like to. And I think it is important for those that want a top time. You got to row aggressively.
The workout, as you see on the screen, 3 rounds, 20, 15, 10, strict handstand push-up, 20 calories on the rower after each for the men. Straight into 3 rounds of 20 med ball GHDs and 50-foot overhead walking lunge. You mentioned the trunk flexion. Was there any intentionality with this being the finale?
Yes, there was. Obviously, they had done a lot of legs up until this point. The lunges are still legs, but I would argue they're going to feel their overhead positions much more in their triceps and delts given out and their lats. But obviously, lunging to the finish is picturesque in our sport. In my opinion, it's one of the coolest ways to finish. Sure, it's gotten a little cliche at this point, but no one's ever disappointed with it. It's one of those things like vanilla ice cream, where it always works.
Speaking of, there's some good ice cream sandwiches over there.
These ice cream sandwiches, these athletes are about to get handed out. Pretty insane. Every athlete's going to get a chipper from Nick Massey from Ice Age Meals. But
do I get one if I pretend one in this athlete shirt?
I didn't even see you were wearing that yet today. That's so crazy. You told me you had some good lineups going, so I think you did a great job. Yeah, these chippers, I'll make sure you get one, Brian. They are selling, if you're listening to this and you're in the venue, they are still selling in Vendor Village till about 5 p.m. from Nick Massey at the Ice Age Meals 10.
Troy certainly did do the handstand push-ups unbroken, but he had company. Isaac Say looks to also be a master of the strict handstand push-up through one set.
Very much so. He was telling me he doesn't like his squat mobility, but he really likes strict handstand push-ups. Brian, I gave out a sheet at the dinner that athletes said, what is your favorite workout and what's your least favorite? And it was about half and half between this one, loving it and hating it. Everyone wrote this workout in for love or hate, which was hilarious. So there's a lot of polar opposites.
Yeah, I would say, and you see Jose Rios there on the left as well. So Rios, Say, and Bonsgard clearly probably on the love side of this one.
For sure. I mean, Troy's just going crazy on those reps. I think Isaac did have a faster row split, but his handstand push-ups were obviously not as fast. Took Isaac a second to get going there. Transitions are crucial at a high level. Being able to sit on your rower, get pulling quick. You can waste a lot of time in transitions, and especially in this workout with them having to run back and forth between the lunge and GHD. It shows a lot of who has energy and who's ready to go based on how fast they're moving between those.
Yeah, and the layout here is kind of cool and a little deceptive because you finish that first med ball, you get to walk down the floor. But the next 2 transitions, there's no built-in rest. The dumbbells are there, the GHD's there.
Yep.
And then you have to wait until the last one, until if you want it, that you can kind of take the rest as you traverse down for the final lunge.
100%. I also like that the fans can be right next to them while they're GHDing. Family can be yelling in their ears, telling them where they're at. It's really intimate feeling here right now, and I'm loving the vibe. Everyone also came in here because the icebreaker just finished up, so everyone's in here huddled together, one big happy family.
Yeah, the podium's already set over there. We had our RX divisions finish up, and I know that obviously, the elite divisions, everywhere you go, draws a lot of attention, but that the RX fields here are just as, if not more important for you. Anything you want to say to those 40 athletes that came here and threw down this weekend?
Yeah, and this is to every athlete as well, elite or RX. You guys trusted in me when I had nothing proven to you guys yet. A first-year event could go any way, and to those of you that showed up and trusted this and put your time and energy into training for this, it means the world. We couldn't do it without the athletes. We couldn't do it without the whole ecosystem, but without the athletes, there's no show. So I obviously wanted all of them highlighted uniquely. I wanted RX to feel real, just as important as Elite. So I was considering between 5 and 6 workouts for them. I've heard a lot of RX feedback. They want to do all the same things as Elites, just a little scaled down. Made sure they got their 6. There's a very considerable podium package for the RX as well.
There
which,
is.
Is pretty rare in our sport. I think the winners, I don't know if you've talked about them yet, of the RX male and RX female are going to walk away with a couple $1,000s in value between the cash and the gift cards and the free services they're handed out. Brian, I don't know of another RX competition that does that, so it's pretty cool to be able to highlight them in that way as well.
Well, and that's a great time. I've been mentioning all the sponsors as they roll through the workouts that they're supporting, Jocko Fuel being one for this. Adidas, I don't think, had a workout, but a huge contributor here.
Huge contributor.
Holy Balls, Ice Age Meals, Thrival as well, donating a huge amount of their stuff.
For sure, yeah. More than just the workout sponsors. There's a couple extra brands involved that were doing stuff behind the scenes for the athletes that we tried to highlight. Oh, wow. Troy, big split here.
438.
438, very impressive.
Isaac, 443. So these guys are battling it out. Rios is on his last row as well.
Yeah.
He's got 5 calories to go. Check this out. Boom.
You saw, Brian, I don't know if you saw this, but they jogged up until about the yellow line and then started walking really slow. Why do you think that is?
Maybe just, I think in the case of Troy, he's maybe sending a message. He knows he's leaving Isaac behind him, but not by much, to let him know, hey, if you want me, come and get me. But then also composing himself and just saying, okay, I got to get ready, because I think the athletes know, especially if they're good at this workout, that the GHD sit-ups are a critical component.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 60 reps alone without a med ball is already a pretty good dose. But when you put a med ball on, I mean, at World Fitness Project, we had 50 in a row with the same weight, and dude, it was hard. So 60 for these guys at this level, man, I know I said this earlier, but they're going to be sore in the morning.
Jose Rios, extremely fast cycle rate here.
For sure.
You can see relative to Isaac, say, especially, it's like 1.5 to 1.
For sure. Yeah, Troy also did very well. He didn't take pauses at the top. Isaac Say has taken a pause a couple times with that ball at the top. Now, this is a big thing we've worked on with Troy, is overhead stability. We've done a ton of workouts to prepare for something like this over the last year. He's one of my athletes, and so really excited to see this overhead position come into play. The dumbbells cannot touch overhead unless it's incidental, which makes it even more exposed, that overhead position. Right now, I'm liking the looks of it.
Yeah, and you can also we can at least see that the focus in the face, the eyes, everything, he's super locked in for this. I think that, there's different aspects of this particular workout where athletes can make or break, and I think he knows that this is the movement that he has to really lock in for.
Totally. Yeah, if you can see Isaac says it's not as locked out as Troy's. Now, the standard is as long as the dumbbells aren't touching the shoulders, it's deemed an okay overhead position. We're not looking at the elbow extension, if it's perfect or not. We're just looking, hey, are those dumbbells not touching the shoulders, and they're not touching each other? And Isaac took a smart break there.
Jose Rios, the first athlete we've had through 2 heats to not take a break on the dumbbells. This is, in my opinion, a risky move.
It is a very risky move, and it looks a little unstable, Brian, but it looks like he's going to be able to get the first set unbroken there. And
getting the first set is fine.
Totally.
But what's the compounding effect? He's got 2 more sets of that coming up.
Totally. 150 foot of walking lunges. Brian, I played with 70-pound dumbbells for this.
Oh, you evil man.
And I realized, hey, look, there's weights that drive the thrill factor, and there's weights that also drive the intensity and the correct workout. And 70s would have just been like, oh, wow, that's so heavy. They wouldn't have moved as fast. We want to promote intensity. We want to promote the ability to move well through workouts, and so the 60s were the right choice here. And I haven't seen 60s programmed in a lot of competitions either, so it's kind of one of those middle ground weights.
Jonathan Stevens coming down, and he's got a pretty good position here.
Totally.
He's really letting that weight sit back on the wrists, which we haven't seen too many athletes do that yet.
No, I got the pleasure of training with Johnny on the daily, and Johnny's overhead position is one of the best in the game. When this guy does SOTS press, and when he does anything overhead, it's always perfection. So he told me for this workout, he's going to be behind on the handstand push-ups and the row, but I expect him to make a significant charge in the GHD lunge.
Jose Rios has been aggressive here to start this second combo. We talked about the cycle rate and going for it. He's now past Troy Bonsgard, But the big question for me is he going to break this lunge? And I kind of am hoping the answer is yes.
I'm hoping the answer is yes, too. If we see him go unbroken, I think we are going to see a failure in the third round just based on it not being fully locked out from the start. You know, what can an athlete do to get better at overhead position, unlock their pecs, unlock their lats? Overhead flexion is key. Let's see. Oh, he broke. Okay, good. Wow, this is getting close here, Brian. Big step here. Oh.
Connor Hartman right in the foreground. And a deep recovery, I would call that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really impressive.
It's good to hear you talk about that. There are ways to improve that overhead position, even in the short run, by just a little bit of mobility work.
For sure.
Especially from behind, you can see with Rios that the right arm and the left arm are quite different.
Totally. Yeah, and doing isometrics, too, is really important, Brian. People don't do enough handstand holds against the wall or just simple barbell overhead holds and forcing where it should be. And they can start light with that and build their way up. But one thing I felt like I did to get an elite level overhead position was just hold a barbell overhead at my body weight as long as I could. Did it a couple times a week. And I'll tell you what, I felt like that paid endless dividends for handstand walks, overhead holds, push jerks. So athletes can, in fact, change that. I don't think anatomically you're stuck. I think it's a programming thing. And it takes time to unlock, just like a good squat. But I do think it's very possible to change it.
Yeah, I've done some workouts going back 10 years where one of the movements in the workout was 1 minute overhead hold with whatever weight.
Totally.
You see sometimes a L-sit hold or something like that, but you don't too often see a static hold with a barbell in a workout.
No.
But definitely in training you can include that.
100%. Look how fast Troy's lunging as well. For a shorter athlete, that's such a fast lunge cadence, and he's definitely going to make up ground on those tall guys. So one more round for Troy.
Well, plus he's reducing the time under tension in the overhead position. Not everyone has the capacity to do it, but same like the legless rope climb. The less time that you're holding those overhead, the better it's going to be throughout as the workout wears on.
Johnny Stevens just caught Troy Bonsgard, and he got off the first 3 rounds a minute behind him, Brian. A whole minute. That's how important this second section is. We saw a dropped ball. Athlete has to get off and retrieve that. He had a fan kick it back to him, which is very kind. We did not brief that to the fans, but someone really loves
She's
him.
looking at you. I think she's blushing. 3 reps to go, and he drops the ball.
That's so funny, yeah. Being able to grip the ball. They did a lot of grip earlier. It is a significant portion of the workout, being able to hold on tight to the ball. Lane 1, we got one more lunge section. Taking a slower walk down there.
Well, and this is the transition. He had 2 tight transitions, all the athletes did there. Now he has a built-in one.
Yep.
And we'll see probably as we get into later sets, the best guys at this might run this transition.
Yep.
But he went for it on that first round of lunges to get this lead, and now he just needs to make sure he doesn't fail these lunges, and he can win this heat.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so there's no one he's fighting against in the heat, obviously, but we still got 2 more to come, and getting into that top 10 in a competition like this is notorious, and you want to do that. All these athletes are still fighting for a top 10 because it is an accomplishment to top 10 in a bigger competition like this and beat a lot of elite males. So there's still stuff on the line for them. And
he was 3rd to the GHDs. He's also 11th overall, so top 10 is definitely within the sights.
For sure. Got his fans cheering him on. It's getting louder in here. I love it. Troy's heading back to the dumbbells for one final time.
Yeah, he's again extended the lead on the GHTs relative to Johnny, but we've seen Johnny absolutely eat up these lunges, and he's going to be the first one we see in this heat who's really running down the floor.
Totally. I even think Johnny has potential. If lane 1 slows down a little bit, I think he's looking too strong. Johnny definitely has potential to beat Troy here if they pick it up at the same time, because Johnny has also that ability to go unbroken here.
Jose Rios, this is a really veteran move. Look at him. He's going to look at his judge and make sure that he gets it.
That was really vet.
12:45 unofficial for Jose Rios. A risky move in the first lunge ends up paying off with a heat win.
100%. Yeah, wow.
And man, that was like one more step, he might not have had that.
Yeah, and I love how he just stared down at his judge, waited, got the cue to go. If more athletes did that, they'd save themselves a lot of pain physically and emotionally.
Absolutely. How often have you seen someone do a heavy clean and jerk and just not wait that extra second and then get a no rep and be super frustrated with themselves?
Too many times, Brian. Wow, Johnny really made a charge there. I think he pushed himself into a place he's going to be happy with after that workout.
Yeah, I mean, I was taking splits off of the first half, and he was so far behind, I didn't even write his split time down. And he just blitzed past Say and then chased down Troy as well.
I think I was watching. It was around 5:45 for that buy-in.
And he was over a minute behind Troy Bonds.
Over a minute. And he finished at what time?
13:18 unofficial.
13:18, so he did. Yeah, still slower on the end, the GHD lunge, but compared to the field, fastest split yet I think we've seen on that GHD lunge. And there's no tie-break time on this workout. So these athletes, if they cross at the same time, hey, there's ties available.
We've seen a few ties this weekend.
Yeah, we have, especially in spring loaded. That one I should have made a tie-break. Programming error. Event directors got years to get it right, hopefully. Isaac Say finishing up very strong. Didn't look too hard for him. Yeah,
Gotta
there we
make
go.
sure to get across that line.
Yep.
And he's going to actually be within a second of Maddox's time, so that pause there might have cost him a point.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Connor Hartman, who had a third place finish earlier on Icebreaker, to get it out of the first heat, and he'll get in about 14:44.
Well done, men. I'm going to clock off for a sec.
Thank you for the insights there, James, and thank you, heat number 2. That was an excellent performance. 2 heats down, 2 heats to go for the elite men here on Endgame, final event of the Mode Classic 2026. Hans Kohlenberger in the foreground there. He'll be in lane number 1. Tanner Stahl, coming off a second place finish in the previous event, he's going to be in lane number 2. Anton Foss in the black there will be in the middle lane. He had an event win this morning. On the other side of the floor, Nicky Rogers in the red shorts has told me that he thinks he has a chance to win this workout. We're about to find out. And rounding out the heat, Johnny Sage, who also had a good performance earlier today. Or 2 of them, 7th and 7th. So all these guys with the potential to have some good performances. In terms of the overall leaderboard, these are the guys just outside the top 5. Kohlenberger tied on points with Bradley Alcock and Cameron Gray, who we'll see in the next heat. They're all 3 points behind Jace Peck and 8 points out of, who's in 3rd place, and 8 points out of behind Jordan Bailey, who's in 2nd. Josh Felix is well clear of the field, 16 points ahead of 2nd place, but a lot to fight for if either Jordan Bailey or Jace Peck struggles with this. So look for Hans especially to maybe risk it here, because his chance at a podium is not over yet. Tanner Stahl sits 7th on the back of that 2nd place finish. He's actually had a 2nd and a 9th today. Anton's in 8th. Nicky is in 9th after he was surging up, and then he had a last place on Icebreaker. Let's see if he can actually bounce back with a top finish here. And Johnny Sage comes in 10th. Jose Rios taking the heat win is the guy who's going to try to climb into that top 10. As James said, you know, as the competitions wear on, you look for these little wins. So Johnny Sage, an opportunity to secure a top 10 here, but he's going to have to fend off Jose Rios. His time of 12:45, fastest we've seen so far. All the men in the previous heat finished. Maddox Metcalf also came in about 14:20 from heat number 1. End game, 15-minute time cap, 3 rounds, 20, 15, 10 on the strict handstand push-up, 20 calories on the row after each set of handstand push-ups for the men. Straight into 3 rounds of 20 med ball GHDs with a 20-pounder and 15-foot overhead walking lunges with a pair of 60-pound dumbbells. We had to change it from the barbell for safety reasons, so apologize for that little misprint, but 60-pound dumbbells, no joke either. Heat 3 of 4 for the elite men. Final opportunity to earn some points. Did you look at this leaderboard?
Let me see this.
Jace Peck's on 53. Cam Gray, Bradley Alcock, Hans Kohlenbrenner are all on 56. Hans the only one of those guys in this heat, so he's got a chance to send a message here.
Holy crap. And he's in the middle lane, correct? Lane 3?
He's actually in lane number 1. Not sure how the seating worked out there, but he's in lane 1.
Interesting. Yeah, I was not in charge of this. I'll have to find my corral manager and rip them a new one. Just kidding.
Does that mean give him a hug?
Yeah, I'll give him a big hug because he's done a great job. Cool. Well, now I know where to watch. He is a taller fella, so I might expect him to be a little slower on the handstand push-ups, but I'll dominate the lunge.
Possibly Johnny Stevens type performance.
Johnny Stevens type beat. You know it.
He's going to be last off the first set of handstand push-ups here. Nicky Rogers this morning told me that he thinks he has a chance to win this workout outright.
I like his confidence. If he has a good overhead position, I believe him. I haven't done enough studying on Nicky. I know we're pretty similar age, me, him, and Jace. I think they're a year younger than me. Jace and him were both teenage games athletes, if I'm not mistaken. And these boys are rowdy. I know they have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, Nicky gets around in competitions. Metcon Rush, NorCal, both TFXs last year, nearing a top 200 in the Open. So he's putting himself in those competitive situations that you like to see young athletes get after.
For sure. Yeah, it's really cool to see. There's still a lot of young guys who haven't shown face at the games that have very much potential too. And this is the stage we really wanted to see. Like, hey, we want these guys that are just on the verge of breakthrough, and I'm so glad they came out and trusted and supported this event and saw it as something worthy. So that's really cool to me. Also, I love that the handstand push-up walls got up this morning. Pretty stressed about that. I think we talked about that earlier, but it was a pretty close call getting those up. Our crew here did an amazing job. They're flushed really well. Athletes are kicking up hard against them with no problems.
You know who the last person to get eyes on those before 8 o'clock this morning was?
Was it you?
Scott,
no.
owner of Mode.
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
Out here making sure things are getting done.
Yeah, Mode's been awesome. They've supported this hands down. And I'm going to announce something really cool at the podium for all the athletes that Mode offered that I can't share quite yet, but they offered something that's pretty significant for every competitor that showed up that's going to wow them. So stay tuned for the podium ceremony.
Maybe we go live on Mode Classic Instagram for podium ceremony.
I couldn't agree more.
I'll
make
up
sure
the
that
gimbal
happens.
for that.
Let's go. Come on. How are we looking over here? I can't really see Hans too much. It looks like Hans is still on a set of 15. Everyone else is on the rower besides lane 5. So lanes 1 and 5. Nicky is destroying people. Look at those handstand push-ups.
Well, this is his final set of handstand push-ups, and I think, if anything, he was hoping there were twice as many.
Yeah, man. I've gotten those comments from him and Jess alone.
I mean, that's the pace that Colton Mertens does them at.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
You can't go faster.
No, you can't. Yeah, and when we see Jess doing them too, I think we're gonna have trouble keeping track of her on the wall. I think she'll be just there like a speck of dust and be right off. Crazy. Tanner Stahl, I've been really impressed with him all weekend. He told me he got the last backfill spot from the qualifier, 26th or 27th place, and he's out here top 10, wrecking havoc. He told me he was retired and he couldn't compete with these guys anymore.
Well, I think that Tudor was on here earlier saying how good his gymnastics has always been, and he's really capitalized that on both Ring of Fire and Icebreaker so far.
Yep.
When he does legless rope climbs, from the pecs down, nothing moves.
That's so wild.
It's insane.
So he just keeps his legs still.
Like a corpse, the lower 2/3 of his body.
So he's like in a hollow position, like a typical...
No, it looks like it's a dead hang. It's crazy, but the upper body is so strong.
If you can train them that way and then pull out the leg swing in competition, I think that's a wonderful way to train them as well. Wow. I don't know if you guys can hear the beats in the background, but got my brother on the aux, and he's been crushing it.
Nicky Rogers, 4:15 split on the buy-in here.
Brian, he nearly beat my buy-in split. I was 4:05 on the buy-in.
Yeah, he's probably not rowing at the same pace as you.
And that's okay. He didn't need to. His handstand push-ups made up for it.
He absolutely did. He's going to have some company pretty quickly.
Anton Foss, they both ran over and then did a fast speed walk. They were more aggressive than any other heat in that transition is what I noticed.
Yeah, and I think Tanner Stahl is going to be the next man up. All three of these guys are going to split under 5 minutes for the first part of this one.
Yep. Wow, Tanner. Great job. It's interesting to me to see people compete in joggers and sweatpants because it is a little bit warm in the mode facility, and it's really cold outside. So, accumulates a lot of sweat in there, a lot of heat. Some people prefer it. I think it all comes down to preference.
Tudor says he prefers it.
He definitely prefers it for lifting events. It's one of his secrets that I took him up on was wearing sweatpants for lifting.
Really?
Oh,
you
yeah.
started doing that?
Oh, yeah. If you see me at any of the lifting events, the World Fitness Project this year, I had pants on. Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't have known that was something that came from Tudor.
Yeah. No, he doubles up on sweatpants. There's good leg compression in it. As long as the sweatpants are tight to your quads, I feel like I just get a little more spring out of my squats. Doesn't help on anything like a deadlift or a split jerk, but helps on any squat type movement.
Anton Foss is going to pick up the ground on Nicky Rogers on those GHD sit-ups.
Nicky looks really confident running to those dumbbells. Anton did not do that. Maybe Nicky knows something that we don't about his overhead position. Now, Brian, I did this workout on broken with the 50 feet each time. I do think there's elites capable of doing that, so I'm excited to see if anyone's going to be able to emulate this, especially at the end of the weekend.
I think that this is, we saw Jose do it one time. I'm curious if that walk from Anton is actually a little coy. Look at his overhead position
so
immediately.
Good.
That is ridiculous. Both of those guys, and Tanner Stahl's about to get these up.
Wow.
These are the three best overhead positions I've seen yet.
For sure. Nicky in all red, Anton in the black, and then Tanner in the sweatpants. We're going to have a great race here. I love this for Heat 3. There's still a lot on the line like we talked about. All these men could potentially climb into that top 5, considering 3rd, 4th, and 5th don't have a good event in Heat 15 coming up in a few heats. Which would be
Foss
the 4th
and
heat
Rogers
men.
go for unbroken sets. Both also show good discipline on the last set to make sure that it counts. No rep on a 25-foot section of walking lunge is very, very penalizing.
Yes.
It's worth taking that extra second, as we saw Jose Rios do, and both of these guys as well.
For sure.
And we're going to see Kohlenberger. Now, he took a long time on that, 7 minutes and 15 seconds, but raced down the floor, and I think that he definitely is feeling the pressure here to perform on the second half.
I don't think it's out of the question to see a comeback, as if he's really fit at these two movements and able to go unbroken and fast. He's still looking at a very great score potentially. The second part does matter, like we talked about, Brian, so curious to see what he can do here. Great cadence so far.
So he's on his first set of GHDs. Tanner Stahl just getting there for his second set, where he joins Foss and Nicky Rogers. And Anton Foss is moving more consistently and quicker again on the GHDs than Rogers.
100%.
Johnny Sage is the only man not on the GHDs. He's still on the other side of the floor getting ready to start on his first set of lunges.
I have a random question for you, Brian.
Oh, boy.
And it's a competition-based question. Compared to the Crash Crucible, how does this vibe feel? Is it similar in an affiliate? Does it feel a lot different because there's 2 floors?
Well, JR also has 2 floors there. They're just, instead of having a wall between them, they're kind of connected. This floor feels like his turf floor, but his turf floor it's like very intimate.
It's very intimate.
Because there's not a space on the right side like we have here. But I would say that being here and doing this commentary reminds me a lot of the year that I did it with Sevon, where we had a table and multiple camera angles. I would say that overall the feel is very similar to the Crash Crucible.
100%. Yeah, field definitely. Workouts, JR helped me with the programming. We went over some intricacies, made sure things were cool and heading in the right direction. So shout out JR if you've been watching all this come to life. He's a big part of why the programming turned out as cool as it did.
It's cool also that you've reached out to people in the community.
Yeah.
JR, Jason's here sitting right next to you. And those, it's perfectly fine. In fact, it's very healthy to want to learn from people who've done something well that you aspire to do.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a know-it-all at this field at all. I wouldn't even consider myself a know-it-all at competing. I'm still learning a lot in that area, too. So I still ask people questions. People ask me, hey, you've won. You've done all these competitions really well. Like, why do you still ask for advice? Because I always want to be a student of the game. I think there's always something more for me to learn. And if I never want to stop improving, I should keep seeking advice and counsel.
Anton Foss has opened up a bit of a lead here.
Definitely.
Rogers is holding a strong second over Tanner Stahl. Sage is still fending off Kohlenberger, but Kohlenberger's closing the gap on him a bit. 10 minutes in, 15-minute time cap. 12:45, Jose Rios is the time to beat. I feel good about Anton Foss's chances of doing that. Rogers is going to have to answer the question on that last lunge.
For sure. I'm just really bummed, Brian, that these guys haven't got my time yet. It's really disappointing. They've got my time on and reps on 3 of the workouts so far, so hoping the last heat has something special in store.
You want them to beat you.
I want them to beat me. I need to take something back to the drawing board. I haven't trained hard in like a whole week. Wednesday feels like forever ago, Brian, when we got to train together.
I know, my biceps aren't even sore anymore.
I know, it's been that long. My event director muscles are sore, which are my eyelids.
And probably your brain.
My brain. It's a little fried. Today's been a lot smoother. Today's been the easiest day, honestly, since that Wednesday.
Anton
really
Foss done with his final set of GHGs underneath 11 minutes, so one more set of lunges, and that'll be the new score to beat. Rogers, Stahl still working on their final set. But far side of the floor, Anton Foss front and center.
Wow.
Still with that beautiful overhead position.
I think he can hold this unbroken, like we talked about. I don't see any signs of him taking the need to take a break, but we'll see if he opts for it. Nope. Love to see it. That's confidence right there.
Better to be strong than weak.
It is indeed.
And he's going to be about a minute faster than Rios. We'll check the time officially here, but Anton Foss, excellent performance to start the day with an event win.
Wow.
And to end the day with at least a heat win. He'll get across at 11:43 unofficial.
That could be huge, Brian, depending on what happens.
You never know.
You never know. If he ends up winning this event, not only does he win a huge package from Jocko Fuel, but he could kick himself up into that top 5. It's rare you see people in the heat, before the final heat, make that move and beat all the guys in the final heat.
Well, we've had great performances coming out of almost every heat all weekend long. I think it's, one, a testament to the field where there's a lot of athletes with really good skill sets that lend themselves to a programming slate that does give you an opportunity to shine on the things that you're great at.
For sure. Here comes Nicky Rogers, one final lunge.
Well, both him and Tanner are going for it here.
Wow.
And Rogers is going to get across just ahead of Rios, so he'll have the second best score so far, about 12:40. Tanner Stahl might be on the other. Oh my gosh, that's within a second of Rios for Tanner Stahl.
My gosh. And did he get on the good side of it or the bad side? Well,
only Competition Corner will know the answer to that.
Only Comp Corner. You guys can go find everything on there.
And by the way, your brother's been killing it on the scoring.
He has, man. We put him in charge, solely in charge. First time ever doing this. And, I just gave him a couple of tips and tricks here and there, and he's handled business. Anytime there's a weird situation, too, he handles it well. On the first day, we had a couple of judging issues that I ended up taking out on him because I thought it was his fault. And so, Spencer Sprague, once you listen back to this live stream, you can hear my apology.
It's just brotherly love.
Just brotherly love. I love you, brother. We're going to Hawaii together this week. It's going to be a great getaway.
Oh, man, that's incredible.
So excited.
Johnny Sage takes a break with 25 feet to go. Hans Kohlenberger here in the foreground, final set of GHG sit-ups.
I still think both Hans and Johnny, obviously, are going to finish the workout. They still got about a minute 15 left. Very, very good time cap here. I'm happy with it. So most people can get in that elite field. But, yeah, it is aggressive if you don't have that overhead position or good pressing capacity.
Sage is going to come in just under the 14-minute mark, about 13:57. And Hans has 1 minute if he wants to finish this one up.
Let's go, Hans. Tanner Stahl, still very impressed with him. Telling me I'm going to take last against this field. What a joke. What a joke.
Far from last, Mr.
Far from last. And selfishly, I do want to see Cam Gray again on the podium, our only athlete to travel internationally. I would love to see him be able to pay off his trip and have to lug a barbell home to Australia if he gets up there.
What? How many athletes are able to win a barbell?
I think we have 4 total, so he would actually have to win, so I rebuke that comment.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was just for the top
spots.
spots.
Event director is obviously mumbling and jumbling at this point.
Yeah, and Josh Felix is been beyond impressive this weekend. So we'll
Yeah.
get a chance to see him in the next heat. Hans is going to come up a little short here, but no lack of effort. Never is for Hans Kohlberger. Big smile, fist bump for his judge. If you're a young athlete looking to compete, this is a good role model for what a competitor should look like. Fierce
100%.
competitor, full respect for everyone involved with competition. Thank you for showing up,
100%.
Hans.
Couldn't agree more. Next, we have Elite Women's Heat 1 coming up.
Incorrect.
Correct.
This wasn't the final heat.
No.
Oh, it's going to be women.
Yeah, now
and
I'm
then
holding
men.
you accountable.
Oh,
See?
okay.
I'm the event director.
Thank you, thank you.
Fear my voice. Fear no evil except my voice. I'm going to go help out.
Okay. You heard James. Women are going to take over for 3 heats. And then we'll have the final heat for men, final heat for women. I'm going to check on the battery life of the phones. We'll be back with women's heat 1 for endgame after this. First heat of Elite Women getting set on endgame here. Lane 1 is closest to us, Sarah Barkley. Britt Rychick in the pink pants has had an amazing day. PR'd her snatch this morning, then went on to hit a couple more times. Heat win on the middle workout of the day. Sophia Natal and Rachel Rains moving further and further right on your screen. Same number of strict handstand push-ups for the women, 20, 15, 10. 15 calories on the row as opposed to 20 that the guys had. And then lighter weight on the med ball GHDs and the 50-foot overhead walking lunge. If you have not been with us, you got to change it from a barbell to the dumbbells you see there. A pair of 40s for the ladies. Britt Rychek, the last athlete into the elite women's field, and she's continuing to have this great day. She's going to be the first woman in her heat to get onto the Lycan rowers there. This event presented by Jocko Fuel. And I didn't catch exactly what it was, but James said that there's a big contribution from Jocko for the athlete that's able to win this one. On the men's side, after 3 heats, it's Anton Foss in the lead, so we'll keep track of the women in these first 3 heats leading into the finales, and that'll close out this Mode Classic 2026. Barkley, Rychek, Natal. Back to the wall for the handstand push-ups. Rachel Raines working through singles. Nothing wrong with that. Handstand push-ups. Similarly to legless rope climb, something that muscular fatigue becomes a real thing. And not failing reps is the #1 strategy for everyone, regardless of your capacity on them. Raines will lock another one out, I believe. Excuse me, that's Sophie Natal who locks one out, so that should be 20 for her. And Rychek's getting close to finishing up the set of 15. Britt Rychek. What a day. Rychek's got some company from Sarah Barkley on the row there. At every point in the leaderboard, there's always these little battles going on. Barkley and Rychek 2 points apart from each other after 5 events, in a lane next to each other here. 1 and 2 in the heat right now. Rychek has gotten the better of Barkley on the gymnastics, but not by much. 12th compared to 14th on Ring of Fire, 13th compared to 14th on Icebreaker. In fact, they've been pretty much within 2 spots of each other on almost every workout. In fact, they have been within 2 spots of each other on every single workout this weekend. Crazy. Rychek, set of 10 handstand push-ups done. Barkley kicks off the wall. Barkley finishes up her set of 10. Sophia Natali working on the set of 15, middle set. Rachel Raines, she's doing singles there, nothing wrong with that. We'll try to keep track of the split times on this buy-in. It is not everything at all, but it is fun to know. 15-minute time cap total. We just passed 5.5 minutes. 4:15 was the fastest split time on the men's side, but Anton Foss was 4:35, and he ended up with the fastest time so far through 3 out of 4 heats in the elite men's division. So just about 6 minutes exactly on the split for Britt Rychik. We'll see how big of an advantage she has over Barkley. Barkley's been cruising on that rower. It's going to be 13 seconds maybe. And Barkley racing down the competition floor. And we'll get a view here. Not too big of an advantage at all. Maybe 2 reps between the two of them. These are the two that have been within 2 spots of each other in all 5 events so far, not just in their heat, but across all of the women in the elite division. Barkley's going to take the lead there. Rychik right behind her. We'll get a first chance to look at these overhead walking lunges for both ladies and see about that overhead position. Sarah's going to get him up overhead first. And Britt will be right behind her here. That looks like a strong overhead position. And Sarah unable to make that first 25-foot section. She's stretching out her leg. Not sure what's going on, but Britt Rychik cruising past her now. You can take a break at the 25-foot mark. It looks like Rychik's going to do exactly that. She's in the same lane and nearly the same spot on the floor right now where she hit those 3 snatches at a weight that she had never previously hit before in training or competition earlier this morning. Dumbbells up again for Britt Rychik. Sophia Natali, Rachel Raines back on the handstand push-ups. I believe it's the last set for Sophia Natali. And Sarah Barkley is going to give that overhead walking lunge another go. As Britt Rychik will head to the GHD for the second time. She looks down the floor and sees that she's opened up a bit of an advantage here. Sarah Barkley missing again, and she's potentially going to be staring at these dumbbells for the last 6 minutes. While Rychik finishes those up, we'll see if Sophia Natali can squeeze out the last couple handstand push-ups here. It's been like pulling teeth, but I finally got Scott Freeman to join me on the commentary.
Oh, man, I've been asking to get on all weekend.
Yeah.
Brian would not allow me on.
Well, I wanted you
Thanks
to
for
come.
having me.
Yeah, no, I mean, you made the drive up here. I wanted you to jump on if you could here towards the end of the weekend. Having watched most of this competition, you've traveled around the world for competitions, working them, competing at them. You know James Sprague. I just was curious of your perspective of what the last 2 days have been like.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I wanted to come up and, support James in this new venture. And, it's about an 8-hour drive for me, well worth it. And it's been really cool. Like, it's a small event, but the level of competition is pretty incredible. And the volunteers, the backing he has, this venue is pretty great. Just seeing something pop up in the Pacific Northwest is really cool for me. This is where I grew up, on the other side of the state. And we've seen a lot of events kind of come and go. So having a new one pop up, the big name like James Sprague, that'll get people out here to the Northwest is it's very cool. It's good to see.
And I'm glad you brought that up also, because it's been something that James has talked about. I think his name is Matt with the Mountain West is on site here.
Yeah, John
excuse me.
Williams and his wife Abby run the Mountain West Fitness Championship in Caldwell, Idaho, and they're going on their 6th year, and they've done an amazing job. Probably the premier event in this area, so it's really cool to see another one pop up. Hopefully they can work together. And
it seems like that was what was going on. They were out here talking to James, talking to Jason Ansley.
Yeah.
I saw you were in the mix there.
Yeah, no, they have all those competition directors, a little fraternity, that's a kind of a brotherhood. So very cool to see.
Britt Rychik here finishing up her second set of lunges. Sofia Natali finishes up. She had done singles throughout on the handstand push-ups, I think, but she got all 45 done. Huge accomplishment, I think. Rychik's going to have 2.5 minutes for this final section. And, like I said, you get to the competition scenes. There's a lot of young athletes here. And I was also wanted to ask you, because for people who don't know, you do compete sometimes. Like, you were at the IF3s in Hungary last year, for example.
That's correct.
And so you know what it's like to be on the stage, on the big stage. And even though it's a small competition, as soon as you step out on that floor, you kind of feel like, oh, I'm out here.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's a lot of lessons outside of even the fitness that these young athletes are getting to experience because of the opportunity that James has created for them.
Yeah, absolutely, which is cool, especially for, people in this area, who don't have to travel very far, to have something like this that they can come out and really test themselves, put themselves out there, in front of a crowd. And like you said, once you get on the floor, the crowd's size sometimes doesn't really matter.
No, you still feel their presence.
You feel the presence, you feel the pressure, you feel fully on display. So what these athletes are doing this weekend is very impressive and very fun to watch. Like you said, I've been on the floor and off the floor, and sometimes I prefer off the floor, but it's pretty great to watch people test themselves like this.
We're going to see here, Sofia Natali's been attacking since getting done with those handstand push-ups, and Britt Rychik is going to have less than a minute to try to finish this workout and get under the time cap. She's probably going to have to go for an unbroken set, which she's yet to do, but her overhead position is extremely impressive.
Yeah, she is locked out.
We kind of had to wait till the third heat of men to see someone with this good of an overhead position. And she knows the situation. There isn't time to set the dumbbells down, so Britt Rychik is not going to do it. Whether she makes it or not, this was the right decision in my opinion. Britt Rychik PRs her snatch in the morning, hits it 2 more times, wins her heat in the middle of the day, and she's going to be the only finisher in heat number 1 for the women here on Endgame. I am not even going to ask a question. I am going to say this is the best day of Britt Rychik's young competitive career.
Good call. That was impressive. Nicely done.
She might be too tired to enjoy it fully right now, but I think she knows that that's true. What an incredible day. She was the last athlete in this division.
Oh, really?
She got called up on Monday, and on Sunday she did all of that.
Wow, that's fantastic. What a day.
We've been talking about it all year with the WFP. When an opportunity comes your way, even if you don't think you're going to win, even if you don't know if you can do everything that's going to be asked of you, show up, and you never know. We're going to see an athlete in heat number 3, Carly Kasura, who had no plan for finishing 10 legless rope climbs and did it. She got
Really?
done with those, and she looked at Sean Sweeney and goes, "What do I do now?" He's like, "Go!" Like, you did the hard part.
You're not done.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I heard her after the event. She was pumped.
Yeah, and she told me she's never done a strict handstand push-up, so we're gonna see if another thing happens for the first time in competition here.
Competition does bring out the best in us. It's pretty great.
Heat 1 done for the women. Heat 2, we'll be back with them when they take the floor. Heat 2 for the elite women, lining up for endgame. Lane number 1 is closest to us. That's Hannah Dotson adjusting her Lycan GHD. As we move down the floor, we'll have Montana Powell. Zoe Fiala will be in the middle. Layla Von Berndt and Evelyn Huff will round out this heat. Athletes were reseeded heading into this one, so these are the athletes 11 through 15. Hannah Dotson in that 11 spot, 4 points behind Natalia Flores, who we'll see in the next heat to chase that top 10. And as James was talking about, Scott, at every point on the leaderboard, there's something to fight for. You know, like we said, sometimes athletes don't come with the expectation to win. It's to do their best, and as the weekend wears on, you realize, like, these are the 2 or 3 athletes either side of me that I either need to beat them to stay where I am or chase them down to go for it. And any competition, getting in the top 10 is a good feeling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially, like, if you're right on that line. If you're in 11th right now, the only thing you're thinking about is getting in that top 10.
Yeah. Well, that's the case for Hannah Dotson, and Hannah's a coach at CrossFit Fort Vancouver. You might know her, actually.
I haven't met her, but I've spent some time at Fort Vancouver.
I think she does the morning classes.
Oh, well, that's probably why.
You strike me as a 4 p.m. type of guy.
I'm a nooner.
A nooner, okay.
A nooner.
That is a good time to work out.
It is. Breaks up the day nicely.
Well, this workout is a 15-minute time cap. There's no reprieve for the women on the strict gymnastics. 20, 15, 10 on those strict handstand push-ups. They do get 15 cals on the row. Straight into 3 more rounds, 20 med ball GHDs with the 14-pound and 50-foot overhead walking lunge with a pair of 40-pound dumbbells. One thing I wanted to ask you about is James didn't really back off on the programming here. I mean, these are some challenging workouts.
Absolutely not. Yeah, to start the last workout of the weekend with a movement like a strict handstand push-up where he knows some people might get stuck.
There was a chance that someone could do no reps of the final workout. And I asked him, and he said, no, I wanted this one at the end. There wasn't a ton of shoulder volume. I needed a shoulder-heavy and flexion-heavy workout.
Yep.
And he said that talking to a lot of the athletes, especially the RX athletes, they wanted 6 workouts, and they wanted similar movements. They want to be challenged.
Yeah. Well, they definitely got challenged on this one. This is a brutal workout, man. How would you do on this one? How's your handstand push-ups?
I don't have strict handstand push-ups anymore, and even at my best, I think all these women would be cruising right past me. That's okay, though.
That's okay.
It's not about me here, Scott, okay? You don't need to embarrass me anymore.
That is not my intention.
Zoe Fiala, middle of the floor, former teenage games athlete, and she was quick on those handstand push-ups. She is we have women on the smaller side and on the bigger side throughout this field, and with the nature of the programming, having 3 somewhat specific gymnastics workouts and 3 more power output, kind of bigger style athlete, you see this back and forth. Zoe's held her own, man. She's right in the mix. She's in 13th overall right now, and she's leading her heat.
Yeah, she is putting together a very solid weekend. It's always fun to finish on a high note.
She gets off her row there, and she'll head back, and we'll get to see the handstand push-ups here. She's not doing anything flashy. She's not cutting any corners. She just has good strict handstand push-ups. Right next to her, Montana Powell in the all black on the same set. Both women taking a quick, I think, calculated break there. And lane 1 is closest to us. Dodson still chipping away on that first set. Powell also in the all black, and Fiala right next to her leading the way. Looks like Zoe's going to get done with the 15 first and head back to her rower. We'll be keeping a track of that split time, 6 minutes and 6:13 in heat number 1. And right now Zoe's on to the second row, and it's only 2.5 minutes into this. So different capacity here.
Yeah, way up front.
Far side of the floor, Evelyn Huff finishes upper row, so she'll head into the set of 15 handstand push-ups, and Layla Van Bernt in the orange and blue is going to be a couple reps behind her.
To have a movement like strict handstand push-ups in your bag is just a superpower in CrossFit. When a workout like this comes up,
just keep piling the blows on, Scott.
Oh, I'm right there with you. It is kryptonite for me.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've worked out. I didn't know you had a kryptonite.
That is very, very nice of you.
Well, Scott was my partner at the new version of the Gauntlet at Wadapalooza on the beach, and I can say very confidently that I was pulling the team back a little bit.
Oh, definitely not. You're dragging me along. That was a fun event.
There's pictures that'll say otherwise.
The pictures do tell a different story.
Zoe Fiala, 10 strict handstand push-ups here. No real issue with that. So she'll have 15 calories to row. We're not even at the 4-minute mark. So this is going to be a new fastest split time for us here for the elite women in heat number 2. We saw in the men's heat that having a fast split time is not necessarily everything. There's a whole nother component to this workout with the GHDs and the overhead positioning. But Zoe, from what I've seen from her so far, she's actually quite a movement tactician. She moves extremely well. She may not have the top end strength with the body size and the age that she has yet, but her quality of movement is exceptional.
Yes, which will go a long way in her development as an athlete. If you move well, you can start adding weight, you get in the right positions, be able to hang on to those dumbbells overhead. I imagine that her overhead position will be solid after seeing those handstand push-ups.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see something similar to Britt Rychek once we get there. Powell is still hanging tough. Evelyn Huff on the far side of the floor is in a 3 spot. Layla Van Bernt 4th in the heat, and Hannah Dotson got through that set of 20, so she's just probably in recovery mode on this row, trying to set herself up for best possible situation on those handstand push-ups. Fiala off the rower with urgency because Montana
she's right
behind her, and this is what we love to see, you know.
Now we got a race.
And Montana is super quick in the transition, and I must have totally misjudged what Hannah Dotson was doing because she's right here.
I didn't even see her.
Apologies to Hannah Dotson. She was in the mix the whole time, and I didn't even realize it.
To be fair, we do have an obstructed view of lane 1.
Yeah, there is a pylon in our way, but not an excuse. Great job by Hannah. So 3-way battle here in lanes 1, 2, and 3. Montana Powell was faster than Zoe getting that ball up, so she may have a 1 or 2 rep lead here. I did this workout, a very different version than what they're doing.
Did you?
But I did it with James and with a buddy of his Wednesday, and they both did the GHD sit-up. And James finished his workout about 9 minutes. I did my version about 11. The other guy finished about 13. I did med ball sit-ups on the floor.
Okay.
But even so, like, they were adding up.
Yeah.
And the shoulder fatigue between this, the handstand push-up, and the overhead lunge is a real thing.
Well, and taxing your core before you go to an overhead position is very challenging. If your core is gone, trying to keep those dumbbells overhead, start wobbling, back starts arching, leaning forward.
Montana Powell with another very intentional run down the floor, and she wasted less time than I saw almost any of the men take to get the dumbbells up and start on this lunge. It's not the best overhead position we've seen yet. I'm imagining she'll break at the 25-foot mark.
Yeah, she fought through that one, but she is moving with a purpose.
Well, and I think that she was like feet on the line there, so she needed to do another, foot or two of lunging just to make sure that those 25 feet counted. Well, I'll be curious to see. Dodson and Zoe Fiala are taking a longer time to get the dumbbells up, and oof. What I'm seeing from Zoe here right away is that the right arm is completely locked in and the left arm is not quite as stable. We saw this from a couple of the guys as well. They cannot touch the dumbbells together. So if you have a discrepancy one side to the other, it's definitely going to be exposed.
Absolutely. That is a tough standard when you have to keep the dumbbells apart.
So Zoe gets to the halfway part. Montana finishes 50 feet. Dodson, last lunge step, and she'll take a break. So it's Powell and then Fiala and Dodson at the same point of the workout here, battling for second. Evelyn Huff on the rower, I think for the last time in the back corner, and Layla Van Berndt. This may be her last handstand push-up, and it looks like she got it done as well.
Powell's building herself a nice lead here.
Yeah, we saw this from Heat 2 of the men, actually. Jose Rios was very aggressive in the first part of the second triplet, or the second couplet, and got a lead and then was able to maintain it. So maybe a little bit of a strategy there that you can implement if you've been watching, to be aggressive in that first round of 3 with the GHDs and the lunges, and then just hope you have enough to hang on.
Yeah, this is 2 different workouts combined.
Sometimes there's workouts. I mean, we've kind of watched Miley Wade do it in a lot of these workouts where she's just stayed within touching distance and then closed hard. This seems like a workout that's a little harder to do on. There was one guy, Johnny Stevens, that really did that well, but most of the other front runners have kind of stayed out in front.
Yeah, Miley has sniped Trista Smith the last 2 events right at the end.
Yeah,
just
it was
really great
Trista
pacing
today, but it was a couple other girls yesterday, and that quality is rare, to see someone who can workout after workout close down an opponent. Like we said, there's been a lot of different style workouts here. She had on the runner on the first day, she went to a walk twice, and Carly Castura, who's 50 pounds heavier than her, and that matters on those runners. In the last 200 meters, she just went to level 10 and passed her by, and then she continued to do that almost every workout all weekend long.
Yeah, she is a closer for sure.
Evelyn Huff dismounting the GHD in the background there. She'll head down for her first set of lunges. Montana Powell pausing in the middle of the floor, so we'll take a look at Dodson, Fiala, and Van Berndt. Dodson and Fiala are on round 2 for the GHDs. Van Berndt is in her first set of 20. We are exactly at the 10-minute mark out of 15 minutes.
Let's see if Montana runs back to the GHD here.
Yeah, this is one little nuance of this workout. Those middle transitions.
There she goes.
Everything's right there. Dumbbell to GHD, GHD to dumbbell. But this last one, and then going back from the GHD to the dumbbells, is where you have to make a choice. Do I need this rest? Do I want this rest? You see Fiala there as Powell gets to the GHD, heading down for her second set of lunges. Dodson right in front of us, adjusting the knees. She's going to give away a little distance. Evelyn Huff paused at the 25-foot section in her first set, and Van Berndt is starting her first set of overhead lunges in the background. Leader is Montana Powell right here on the GHDs. It's her final set of those. Huff has the dumbbells up. Van Berndt both heading towards us. Fiala still resting in the middle, and Dodson's going to get set to start her second lunge down the floor. 4 minutes to go for Heat 2 of the elite women.
Dodson wants to touch those dumbbell heads together.
Don't do it.
Nicely done.
Dodson another good set. Huff back to the GHGs. Fiala moving again. Van Berndt getting close. Powell 1 rep to go.
Another jog.
Yeah, there she
Not
goes.
quite as fast. That wasn't the sprint that we've seen from her other transitions. But she knows she's got to hit this 25-foot section unbroken.
50 feet if she wants to go all the way. She can choose to break at 25. We'll see.
Right.
Britt Rychik did a 25-25 both first 2 rounds, unbroken on the last one. She's
Saved it.
about 3 minutes from Britt's time here, but she knows there's 2 more good heats of women to come. And we were talking about Hannah Dotson as being someone chasing that top 10. Montana only 1 spot behind her and only 2 points behind her. So she also has that as a possibility coming out of this one.
Absolutely she does.
She is going to break at the 25-foot mark. Evelyn Huff finishing up her second set on the GHDs. Fiala working on her final set. Dumbbells up again for Powell as Dotson comes back for her final set. We got less than 2.5 minutes to go. Montana Powell closing in on a heat win.
There it is.
And if she gets across the line about 12:45, that's going to be 2 minutes faster than we saw from Britt Rychek in Heat 1, and she'll have the new time to beat for the elite women on Endgame.
Great way to end the weekend.
Yeah. And Montana had a couple nice. She was very consistent up until Icebreaker. Every finish between 7th and 11th. She took a 16th on that. Let's see if she can end with the good side of that kind of story. Huff sets him down after 25 feet. Von Burnt is closing on her here. And, you know, with only less than 2 minutes to go, I'm curious if Von Burnt goes for this. She's not going to. It might have been her chance, you know, to maybe pick off one of those close competitors. Fiala racing down the floor there. She's got 50 feet to go, and she's going to be pretty close to Rychek's time. She'll have about 1 minute and 10 seconds to try to catch it. Van Burnt gets him up again. Fiala has him up quickly. Like to see that. Dodson you see in the foreground with one final GHD to go before her last 50 feet, so she's going to be chasing the time cap as well. Van Burnt.
It's going to be tight.
Is finishing up her second set of 50. Fiala at that 25-foot mark. She's looking at the clock. What's the decision going to be? She's going to set him down. And she's got time to do that. She may not have time to do that if she wants to catch Rychek, but Rychek was 20 seconds faster than the time cap.
This is decision time.
Yep. The morning workout was called commitment issues, but it's time to commit.
It really is.
Dotson has the dumbbells up. 30 seconds to go. Fiala yet to move them. Dodson sees that. Fiala now gets them up and starts moving.
Oh, yeah, she's determined.
Dotson has to go for it. If you set him down, you can't finish. Even if you fail it, it's your only chance. So both women,
you have to take the
last
chance.
25 feet. Fiala within a step, and the left arm gives out. We saw this as a possibility from the beginning. And James told us there's no tiebreak on this one. So both women finish 25 feet, come
so
up
they
one
tied.
section short. Montana Powell 12:15, and Britt Rychek, the only 2 women to finish through 2 heats.
Wow. Yeah, and they went for it at the end. They had to.
It was the right choice. It was definitely the right move. You know, sometimes you go for it and you run out of time, or you run out of muscular stamina, but
Yep.
they made the right choice in the end.
You know you gave it your all. So great job, ladies.
Scott, I know you want to go shoot some pictures and talk to some people, but thank you for jumping in here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Brian, and keep up the good work, man. Yeah, love following what you've been doing this last year. You've been all over the planet doing good stuff, learning, getting to know an amazing amount of athletes. So you are growing the sport.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you for your work.
Good to have you here.
Appreciate you.
2 heats down for the women. Heat 3 coming up. Third heat of women on the floor for the final time here at Mode Classic 2026. Lane 1 is closest to us. That's CJ Pesco-Solida. Grace Lochner in the blue shorts there next to her in lane 2. Lena Mentica coming off a great performance. An icebreaker will be in lane 3. Carly Castura, also a great performance for a different reason. She completely surprised herself, is in lane 4. And she told me, if I get one strict handstand push-up, you're going to think I won the CrossFit Games. I'm going to be going nuts. So let's see. And Natea Flores will round out the heat in the far side of the floor. The name of the game is Endgame. 15-minute time cap, 3 rounds, 20, 15, 10 strict handstand push-ups, 15 cals on the row. Once you finish that, head down the floor, 3 rounds, 20 med ball GHDs with a 14-pound ball, and 50-foot overhead walking lunges with a pair of 40-pound dumbbells. We had to change from the barbell to the dumbbell, so apologies for that there. Tudor, you've watched this 3 times for the men, 2 times for the women already. What do you think about this workout?
I think if you can push the first 3 rounds, put yourself in a good place, but it all comes down to those lunges. If you can go unbroken, you'll save yourself a lot of time.
Yeah, not too many athletes have been able to do that, but Anton Foss, who has the fastest time for the men so far at 11:43, was one who could. And his overhead position was honestly about as good as you could ever hope to have. And it paid big dividends. James was talking about how important a good, strong, stable overhead position is in this sport. I'm sure that you would echo those sentiments.
Absolutely. I mean, if you think about all the movements that we have to do, not just with the barbell, but also with dumbbells in this workout, and then handstand push-ups, gymnastics, handstand walking, it's just endless amount of movements that you have to compete at well in this sport that require an overhead position.
Yeah, and at least in the men's field at the WFP finals, I mean, the 3 of you who had the biggest snatches also had the best handstand walking with a fairly dense amount of ramp to stair to ramp in a small time domain. And I think that comes, both of those things are not the only thing that matters, but having that strong and stable overhead position helps out a ton. Natea Flores on the far side of the floor, unbroken and fast set at 20. We talked, I think I had Adam McAdams on earlier, was talking that she's got a pretty good gymnastics background, so she's going to be leaning into that in the first half here and using that to her advantage, like you said. She's in the maroon pants, and when we see her kick up here, I'm expecting another set of unbroken handstand push-ups for Flores.
She does end up doing a quick break there just to shake out the arms a bit. Maybe conserve herself for those overhead lunges.
Yeah, I mean, that's a calculated break, not a necessary break, and probably a good decision. I mean, there is 150 feet more of overhead walking lunges, and the GHE med ball sit-ups only increase the shoulder fatigue.
Yeah, and one thing that people don't really think about with those GHC med ball sit-ups is that you are in an isometric shoulder and chest position holding that med ball throughout the movement.
The 3 women closest to us here, Pesco-Solido in the red, Grace Lochner in the blue shorts, and Elena Mentica in the blue top, all pretty close getting off the first round of rower, so they're in a bit of a battle. And then we got Carly, who's giving it a go, going to see if she can get one, and Natea, who's kind of she's racing against what I like to call chasing ghosts type of situation right here, where she's the only person in round 2 on the row. Tudor, we're into the afternoon here on Sunday, and it feels like it's as crowded as it's been.
Yeah, I mean, one floor, this is the big show. End game, this is the final event. Everybody's here to cheer these athletes on and finish strong.
Flores done with her second row. She'll head back to the wall. We'll see if she goes for 10, which I'm sure she could do, or chooses to take a break here. But in terms of the first half of the workout, she's on pace to have a faster split than anyone we've seen in the women's field yet. Pesco-Solido there in the red, slightly ahead of Mentico, slightly ahead of Lochner. No reprieve for the women. Same amount of strict handstand push-ups as the men, and I think that's, when there's not a deficit here, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think some women are actually faster than men at this movement.
Flores on her final row there. You see the hands going up for the other ladies. That's their second row, so they'll still have 10 more strict handstand push-ups and a final 15 calories on the row. But we are at just about the 4-minute mark, and Natea Flores with less than 5 calories to go before heading down the floor into the second half of this. And rowers and GHD sit-ups 50 feet apart. You're going to have multiple different opportunities to traverse that floor with no quote-unquote work to do. And you have to make the decisions about the transition, and it looks like from at least the first one here, that Natea is choosing to be aggressive.
Yeah, and she's starting her GHD sit-ups here while the other athletes are still on the wall in their third round. Quite a bit of a lead, but we'll see how she handles these dumbbells.
Yeah, that first set of overhead lunges is kind of the telltale sign for every athlete. But as you said, not just the handstand push-ups. You see CJ and now Lena getting to the rower. Grace Lochner with a hand up, 1 or 2 reps to go. They still have 15 calories. That's a full another minute that's going to come in between Natea and the 3 women chasing her down in this heat. 5 reps to go for Flores, and then she'll make her way down the floor to the dumbbells for the first time. We're still not even to 5.5 minutes into this. 12:15 from Montana Powell in the previous heat was the fastest time we've seen. The only other finisher was Britt Rychek in heat number 1 at 14:40. 2 women in the previous heat came within a couple feet of finishing the final lunge, but ultimately fell short. So only 2 finishers through 2 heats so far for the elite women. And here we go. Let's see what these dumbbells look like overhead for Flores.
Yeah, she's looking stable so far. A little bit of a bend in her elbows as the knee touches down, but I think she'll put him down at 25 feet and then do another unbroken set of 25 feet.
And there have been a few athletes who've had maybe one arm stay locked out and the other arm that's depressing. It looks like both of hers are consistent, which I think I kind of like that more. I mean, obviously, optimally, you could lock them both in and keep them there throughout the entire lunge. But what we saw in the last round was Zoe Fiala had that dip on the left arm from the beginning, and ultimately the left arm gave out 5 feet from the finish line of the last set.
Yeah, and some athletes just don't have the mobility to just get up there and have to bend their elbows, but they make it work for them, and yeah.
So Fiala onto the second set of GHDs, not Fiala, Natea Flores, excuse me. And the other 3 women here who've been pretty much rep for rep throughout finishing up that first set. It looks like Mantica is going to take about a half rep lead over Pesca-Solida. And Lochner closest to us now, maybe 6-7 reps behind. Hand goes up from her. There's actually, the hand goes up with just 2, so she may have been a little closer than that. And here we get a chance to see Lena Mantica in the blue top and CJ Pesca-Solido in the red, first time on their lunges. Tudor, do you like one of these positions better than the other?
I think they're both relatively similar. It's really hard to keep a solid straight arm position, especially with 2 independent weights overhead. And
you can't, the dumbbells cannot touch, so
yeah, and that's another thing standard-wise, where if they can't touch, you can't get any stability from that action. So they have 360 degrees of movement possible.
Lena Mantica choosing to go for an unbroken set there. We've seen a couple athletes, men and women, through the heats that we've had already who've really made this decision to attack the first round of the GHDs and lunges. And even though it seems a little bit risky with 100 more feet and 40 more reps to go, in almost every case so far, being aggressive in that first round has paid off. Mantica and Pesca-Solido on the GHDs. Flores lunging away from us now, meaning she's on the middle set of 50. Lochner 25 feet down and 25 feet to go.
And I believe I saw Lena Mantica do an unbroken set, and so if she can keep that up, that would pay great dividends for her, and she might even catch up to Natea Flores.
Yeah, you mentioned it when they were still doing handstand push-ups, that can be a huge separator in this workout. Every time that you put those dumbbells down, it seems to be at least 30 seconds. That means you have the chance to make up 90 seconds relative to a fellow athlete if you don't do that. Flores finishing up another set of lunges here, and she's going to make the long transition back to her final set of GHD sit-ups at the 9.5-minute mark. 12:15, the top time from Montana Powell, so that's what we'll be looking at for Flores. She wants to set the top time with the 5 leading ladies still yet to come. Manteca with the dumbbells up again. And another opportunity to maybe close some ground. Flores took a break. Will Manteca.
Yeah, and it looks like she's continuing to lunge for another unbroken set, 50 feet in the second round.
Yeah, she's going for it again. And, you know, CJ in the red there, she sees that. But she's going to break him at 25. And it's one of those things where you might want to do it, but you also might know that you don't have it in you.
Yeah, it's better to, especially on this set, maybe on the third round if you want to push it and you're in a position to. But just conserve yourself for that last lunge.
So Manteca coming back to the GHD for the last time. Flores still on her final set, and she has really slowed down on these, laboring through the last couple reps. You're going to see her kind of crawl off of the GHD over there.
Yeah, but at least she got off the GHD as Lena Manteca got on, so hopefully it's enough distance to where she can lunge to the finish.
Pesco Solido finishes up. Second set of 50 feet. She glances over at Manteca as she runs back down the floor. Lochner picks up the dumbbells for the second time. And Flores picks them up for the final time. She's in the outside lane over there. White top, maroon shorts. Flores was sitting in 10th place coming into this one. We've been talking about how badly some of these women would want to stay in the top 10 and how much it can mean to them to do that. So she's in the gatekeeping position right now. And she's going to be right on track with Powell. It's all going to come down to how fast she picks these up. She's going to have about 30 seconds from the time she does to try to get the top time so far. I think that was her fastest transition in terms of first set to second on the lunges. So Flores on the backside there. And she's going to get in about 12:03, so that will be a new top time. And also, with Powell's time only 12 seconds away, means that she's going to buy herself points relative to Manteca, Pesco-Solida, and Lochner. Manteca and Lochner were both ahead of her on the leaderboard, and so was Casturo based on tiebreak, by the way. So Flores may be in a position to move up a few spots based on that performance. Great way to finish her competition. Manteca final lunge set. She's yet to take a break on these. 2 for 2. It looks like she's going to go for it again. Have not seen very many athletes, male or female, been able to do this.
All 3 sets of lunges unbroken. I thought I saw only Nikki Rogers and Anton Foss do the same.
Yep. 12:55 for Manteca, third fastest time we've seen so far. And CJ Pesco-Solido is taking that risk we were talking about. Broke him on the first 2, going for it on the last one. Classy veteran move there. She'll get across about 13:20. That'll be the 4th fastest time so far. Lochner racing down the floor. 50 feet to go for her. 90 seconds to get it done.
Let's see if she can push these all the way through for 50 feet.
Yeah, this is one of those things in competition where it might be worth the gamble here. Just see if you've got it. I remember at the 2021 or 2, I think it was 22 Granite Games, there was a lunge, and Emma Carey decided to take the risk. And it ended up costing her the win, actually, that weekend. but I spoke to her afterwards, and she said, I don't care. I wanted to know if I could do it. And then I'll use that as learning and training and in future competitions. So sometimes there's these opportunities you only get out in a competition for every so often. So Lochner takes the break. She picks him back up. She's still going to have a chance to finish. Now she's chasing Britt Rychik's time, 14:40. If she does get across, it's going to beat both Fiala and Dotson, who came up a few feet short. So Lochner coming into the screen here, last lunge, and she'll get in faster than Rychik and ahead of those other two women. So either way, it paid off for Lochner there on the leaderboard. Carly Castura there did not get a handstand push-up, I don't think, but incredible weekend for her. She did some stuff that she'd never done before, had some top finishes, and that's what competition's all about. Three heats of women done. Schedule says we're resetting the floor for the final heat of men now. So we'll take a quick break while they do that.
I'll go help with that.
Okay, thank you, Tudor. Final heat of men taking the floor for the last time at the Mode Classic. Cam Gray leading the way there, and that was 100% a look of focus and intent. He'll be in lane number 1. Jordan Bailey will be in lane 2 in the orange shorts. Middle of the floor, Josh Felix, who's had a commanding lead all day. Jace Peck and Bradley Alcock on the far outside lane will round out the heat. These are the top 5 guys coming into the finale. Felix in first with 32 points at this time. Well, it's actually 12 points. He's got a 13-point advantage over Tanner Stahl. Wait, this isn't right. Oh, they've updated the leaderboard. He's got I got to try to remember this, 16-point advantage over Jordan Bailey. Bailey's on 48 points. Jace Peck's on 53, 5 points behind him. And then Cam Gray and Alcock are on 56 points. So it's pretty tight there for the 3 spot. And if Bailey stumbles, someone could certainly move into 2. Felix all but guaranteed the win here. But the task at hand is endgame, 15-minute time cap. 3 rounds, 20, 15, 10 on the strict handstand push-ups, 20 cal on the row. directly into 3 rounds, 20 med ball GHDs with a 20-pounder and 50 feet overhead walking lunge. If you're just joining us, it's not with the barbell, it's with the dumbbells that you see there. It's a pair of 60s, so that's a little inaccuracy on the graphic, but 60-pound dumbbells will be overhead. They're not allowed to touch. We'll see the demand of the overhead position throughout this one. It's been a great competition. I mentioned Josh Felix, clean sweep yesterday, and then he went 3rd and 6th earlier today. Nobody's been able to reel him in, so he has a big lead coming in. But for the rest of the guys, a very real podium battle about to go down. Cam Gray, closest to us there, the big man from Australia, only man internationally to travel in for this, and he's absolutely in the mix. This may not be the best workout for him on paper, but he's the same height as James Sprague, and James Sprague did this one in just over 9 minutes. So let's see if Cam Gray's got some strict handstand push-ups under his belt. Strict handstand push-ups to kick things off. Endgame presented by Jocko Fuel. Been a huge support from many sponsors here, and you're going to see Cam Gray kick down very quickly. Cam is a very meticulous athlete. He has a very strategic game plan for every movement, and he knows exactly the sets and reps that he wants to do here. Jace Peck and Josh Felix, they're playing a totally different game. This is full-on blitzkrieg for those two guys. And Jace Peck has ambitions of second place here relative to Jordan Bailey. Alcock on the outside lane is going to be 3rd to the rower. So Bailey in those orange shorts, you see the upper body pressing being a little bit difficult for him. Cam Gray's going to get there just ahead of him. So this is getting interesting straight away. It's Peck, Felix, Alcock, Gray, and then Bailey. All men done with 20. And now just a nice, easy 20-calorie row. And look at actually Cam Gray keeping that handle super low right into the hip pocket, completely relaxed in the shoulders, using entirely legs, a little bit of the back. He's not wanting to contribute any additional shoulder fatigue than he needs to on this row. Felix takes over the lead into a quick set of handstand push-ups. Jace Peck, oh my goodness. Felix with 1 and then 2 breaks. Peck yet to break, and now he kicks down. So Felix and Peck, 1 and 2. Cam Gray, of course, coming off the row with no effort at all, and he's going to get straight into another likely calculated set. Yeah, I think he's just doing 3s basically throughout. So Alcock and Bailey right behind him. Alcock on the far side kicks up. He'll probably do some bigger sets. Bailey looks like he's going to go for a big set out the gate, and with as hard as those last couple looked, I'll see how that catches up to him on the back half of this 15 and then the other set of 10. But Felix and Peck well ahead of the heat here. In terms of the split times from previous heats, 4:15 Nicky Rogers, 4:35 Anton Foss. Guys coming in at 4:38. Troy Bronsgaard, 4:43 Isaac Say. Tanner Stahl, 4:52. So sub 5 minutes possible on this first part. We're at 2.5 minutes in. And these guys have hands up on their second row already, so totally different ball game here for Felix and Peck. And you love to see it. Josh Felix doesn't need to win this workout. He actually could take 15th and guarantee himself a win, but he is attacking, and for an athlete who's coming up in the sport, you love to see James, I was just talking about Josh Felix. He could take 15th on this workout and still win the competition, but he is attacking this as if everything's on the line.
Well, you know what's great about attacking this is if he does win the event, there is additional prizes for him. As we have event win prize purse here, we also have Jocko Fuel pitching in a $300 gift card to the winner of this event. So
$400 value for the event win.
Yeah, not a bad way to cash out the weekend if he does win and win.
Jace Peck closest to him, just getting to the row for the last time. And Cam Gray, he's been doing sets of 3 the entire time, but basically he's been doing this sort of extreme precise attacking of every workout all weekend long.
100%. Yeah, these guys are all 3 pretty even. In lane 2 there, you can see longer athlete, but I think
Jordan Bailey there.
Yeah, Jordan Bailey. I think he's going to really attack these lunges. I could see him pushing ahead of Felix because of his length. He also looked to have a good overhead position in the warm-up area. excited to see how he attacks that second part. But, Brian, this was the first time I felt this floor really rumble. When I was just watching the heat start and hearing the rock music going, people are getting rowdy in here now. It's freaking cool. Everyone's eating chippers, getting excited. Josh Felix sprinting to that GHD. 4:08. He beat my split.
Yeah, he's attacking this with ferocity. You know what did it for me? I saw Cam Gray around the corner and walk towards me. And it was if I wasn't here. This guy was so locked in, and it immediately got my blood pressure up and ready to go for this final heat.
For sure. Something about a finale, I don't care what the workout is, the fact that everything's on the line and you can change the story, people take it that much more serious. Not that they weren't in the other workouts, but you can see the intense faces.
Look at Cam Gray here. 1 rep to go on the handstand push-up, and he's nearing failure. That's pretty much perfect execution. He knew what he could handle, and he did it.
Yep.
Those 2 guys out in front, Peck and Felix, not something he's worried about when it comes to handstand push-ups, but if he can beat Alcock and Bailey, he can get on this podium still.
100%.
Felix, final handstand push-up, and my goodness, does he look good on this workout so far. Bradley Alcock, far side of the floor, 3rd in the heat. He's going to walk his way down to the GHD. Felix strapping up the belt. And Jordan Bailey, last on the handstand push-ups. This is exactly what guys like Alcock, Cam Gray, and then even Anton Foss would have wanted to see. But here comes Felix. First chance to see the overhead position, which I've been calling it the telltale sign. The first time you pick up those dumbbells and get set on the lunges is where I can really find out who's got a chance to set a top time on this and who's just going to be limping in.
I will say, with what we saw some guys do in the 3rd heat, it's not optimal to be breaking if you want the top time. But he did buy himself so much time in that first 3 rounds that it might still be doable if he wants to win this event outright. All he needs to do is cruise in. It's a formality for him, but still looks like he's attacking.
Well, and as fast as he went on that buy-in, he was only 7 seconds ahead of Rogers, 30 seconds ahead of Foss. But Foss closed down Rogers quickly on the second half and beat him by nearly a minute.
Wow.
So there's a lot of opportunity to make up ground on the back half of this one.
A lot of it. Yeah, I'm really curious seeing some of these athletes tighten up their belts for the overhead lunges. For an overhead position, you're really extended, so it's hard to feel the brace of that belt because you're really not tight in your core. So I'm curious to see if these athletes really tighten these things up or if they just leave them on there to remind them to keep braced as much as they can.
Cam Gray took a break on the medball GHGs to chalk up.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe he's more sweaty than we thought. Usually athletes wear the sweat bands on the wrist to keep the sweat from going everywhere on their arms. But, Brian, you do have sweat glands all over your body. Crazy concept.
Jace Peck's going to finish up the first 50 feet there. He's solidly in second place. Alcock we saw finish up 25 feet. He's in the solid 3rd place position in the heat. Cam Gray about 10 reps ahead of Jordan Bailey.
Oh, look at this. Limp back to the lunges. Do you see the way Cam's walking? Sore quads, it looks like.
Looking a bit wobbly there.
Yeah. Man, reminiscent of his engine room running in the beginning of the weekend.
So there he is on the far side of the floor. Alcock yet to pick him up in the middle of the floor. And Jordan Bailey about to finish up his GHG sit-up, so he may be closing on Gray and Alcock there. Felix is going to have the short transition to the dumbbells that are right in front of him. And while he is in first place here, the last 10 feet of that second lunge that he did not look super confident to me.
No, they did not. Yeah, and it's like he's stacked initially as he's going, but the stack started to fade as he was going through that 50 feet. You can even see the shake now, the wobble of that right elbow. Ooh, the left elbow did it too. Right on the mode O. And he's smart to be utilizing that 25-foot break for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he has an option, and
No.
we're going to see Jordan Bailey on the other side.
Jordan Bailey, no rep, has
the
to go
left-
all the way back.
Left arm just completely collapsed there.
Oh my gosh, that's devastating in the second round. Brian, with that big no rep, you have to rest a ton to get it back. It's like a legless rope climb no rep. When you can't get up there, your muscle recovery, it's going to take a while.
Oh my gosh, and right in front of us, Cam Gray in the meantime, guts out 50 feet there.
Wow.
There was a woman in one of the heats. She failed that first section, and she never recovered from it.
Yeah. That's the end game.
That's the end game, absolutely. And Jordan had a 5-point advantage over Jace Peck. Jace Peck is looking like he's going to have a top 5 finish here at worst. So a lot could change in the 6th and final workout here. Let's see if Bailey took enough time to recover. And reminder that the standard is that the dumbbells just cannot be touching the shoulders. So
that's correct, Brian. Yeah, some athletes just don't have that full extension yet. It's hard to define what exactly is full extension of the elbow. Is a wobble considered a no rep at that point? So I'd rather just be really black and white, no gray area, and say don't touch him to the shoulders.
Jace Peck farthest away from us there, finishing up his second set of 50-foot lunges. He looks like he's going to do that relatively well and head back to the GHD for the last time. Jordan Bailey is in a world of, he's got a lot going on there.
He does, man. Yeah, that left elbow. He's got at least 5 more lunge steps to get across that line.
We'll keep him center of the frame here and see if he can find a way. The intensity on the face is not in question. It's just the integrity of that left elbow.
Wow, he got it. He locked it out. It was bending. That had to be a lot of effort, and he knows it. He's not even started the GHGs yet. I think he's knowing he needs more rest for those next lunge reps.
Alcock finishes another 25 feet. He's 25 feet ahead of Cam Gray. Cam Gray finishing up his final GHD sit-up here.
There's a lot of stories being played out here, Brian.
Yeah, and we're at the 10-minute and 20-second mark, so times to beat are going to come into play. Anton Foss, 11:43, the only man sub-12 so far. And just so you know, no one in the men's field is going to take you down on this one.
Okay, good. I'm glad, Brian. I was really stressed about that. It is really crucial to see who has trained their pressing and overhead stability for this. I wanted to expose every piece of people's fitness if they didn't train it, and that's why it's so important when you do a competition to reflect on your workouts, take them back to the drawing board, see what went well and what went wrong. And if you're smart, you really focus on what went wrong.
Cam Gray chose to break at 25. You know what he did cleverly, though? When he put the dumbbells down, he used the momentum to throw them behind him instead of having to take extra energy and drag them. Little detail.
Little details. Cam's really good about little details. He's the Australian professor.
Australian professor indeed, but this weekend for the elite men has been all about Josh Felix, and he is lunging to the finish here. He's also lunging to what could be his 4th event win of the weekend.
Wow.
Josh Felix came into a men's field that was wide open. He blew the doors down yesterday with 3 event wins, 3rd, 6th, and 1st. Congratulations, Josh Felix. You are the inaugural champion of the Mode Classic.
Josh Felix, you impressed me all weekend, man. He didn't even come in first in the qualifier. He wasn't on my radar to win this competition. I had him at best in 3rd or 4th, and he just blew it out of the water. He didn't give anyone else a chance, Brian. With 6 events, having that much of a lead going into the final event, that speaks volume to what this guy's going to do this year. And really just going into 2026, my goal was to give athletes confidence, give them touch points with this kind of stuff. So I really hope he takes this experience and builds from it, even though he won. Doesn't get complacent, keeps doubling down on what he just did here, because that was really insane.
It was. Jace Peck, middle of the floor, has 25 feet to go, and with Jordan Bailey struggling, Jace Peck, who was the top qualifier coming in, is looking like he's going to be in a great position to potentially take 2nd overall.
Yeah, and that 2nd place, Brian, there's still a very considerable prize purse. You're going to walk away real happy with the prizes you make and the gift cards you're receiving. And also just for Jace, he's looking to make that next step to games level. He came out of the team division. He's looking to be an adult. He is an adult. He's looking to be in the individual male division, and this is also going to build that confidence. Classic lunge finish, 2 more steps. Nice and stacked, Jace. Way to finish strong. Wow.
So Foss will take 2nd on this one.
Okay.
And I think Nicky Rogers might have gotten in 3rd. And it's going to be very close between Tanner Stahl, Jose Rios, and Jace Peck for those next 3 spots. Like a 2nd between all 3 of them, maybe.
That's insane. Yeah, that's why next year we'll be using chip timers as well, Brian. One big thing I learned as an event director this year is that those little things also matter for scoring and just making sure the judges don't have to have as much pressure on them. So many little things I've had takeaways with.
Jordan Bailey all over the lane here, but he's fighting for every step. He has to know that a miss could cost him everything, and the left elbow just goes out again for him.
This is the end game, Brian. Those are 2 no reps. That's 50 extra feet he's going to have to end up doing. And yet to mention, it could potentially take him off the podium, out of the top 5.
Yeah, we'll see, because there was only 3 points between him and 3 other men. Now, Hans Kohlenberger didn't have the best finale, but look at Brad Alcock resting at the 25-foot mark, and Cam Gray with 50 feet to go. We saw him do 50 feet coming this way earlier. This is the time to risk it for both of these guys.
I freaking love to see what Brad just gave me. He gave me a sign. He said, "No notes, baby." He just did that mid-workout. He's confident. He's feeling good. He knows he's going to finish this one strong.
Yeah, but Cam's passing him by right now.
But
is
he
Cam
broke.
going to break?
Cam broke. Brad needs these points. Let's go, Brad. 43 years old, oldest in the competition, could very well potentially be putting himself in a podium position right now. This is incredible to see. Rocking the Sambas, no trainers on. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I'm devastated. Oh my gosh.
Cam Gray, meantime, picks up the dumbbells. One door closes, another door opens.
I
Cam
cannot
Gray is
believe what I'm
also in
seeing.
a world of hurt. This is a full-on grimace. 2 steps to go.
Wow.
Final step
Wow.
for Cam Gray. He's going to give the Kiwi Pacific Islander tongue out. Grit gets it done. Cam Gray across the line. There were a ton of other times that came in. That was against the time cap. I have no idea what the 3rd spot on the leaderboard or the podium is going to look like for the men.
This is absolutely
Bailey,
insane.
Gray, and Alcock all get time cap. We had 10 other finishers. I mean, Gray finished, but I don't think he beat any one of those guys.
I can't believe what just happened, Brian. Seeing Brad fail that at the very end, knowing he was done with his workout, there was no chance. Cam executing on what he needed to do. Cam's very angry at me for the programming.
What is wrong with you guys?
A lot. A lot's wrong with me.
I like that up this weekend.
We're all a little psycho at heart, brother.
Everyone can see what's going on right here. James shaking his hand. He said, "What's wrong with you, James?" Wow. Jay Speck's going to make his way over here.
Hey, well freaking done, bro. Yeah, well done.
That's good. Good
Yeah,
call,
you finished very strong. It's a haircut, I'm telling you.
That was a crazy final heat for the elite men. One thing we know for sure is Josh Felix is going to be the champion. I believe Jace Peck has done enough to get into second. I can't even begin to process what's going on for the 3rd podium spot. So many little details. Good performances from guys like Foss and Rogers, Stahl, Rios. It's going to get chaotic. So I think James and I talked about doing a live stream on the podium on Instagram. So if you're curious for the results, you may want to check that out in a bit. But we have the final heat of women coming up next. You see a question in the comments there. Yes, so the final heat of women taking the floor momentarily. They're just changing out the equipment one final time here. Huge thank you to all the volunteers. 2 competitions floor, 2 days of action, 80 athletes, 6 workouts. Not a lot of additional judges. As you see, James has been out there. Tudor's out there right now judging. Everyone pitching in to get the job done here at the Mode Classic. Wow, let me catch my breath from the men before the women go. I'll introduce you to the last 5 women, the last 5 athletes who take the floor here at the first ever Mode Classic. Elsie Larson, right in front of us, will be in lane number 1. She was having some trouble with the GHD. Tudor Magda to the rescue, no problem. Trista Smith in lane 2 there, sorting out her rower. Middle of the floor in the orangish pink shoes, Miley Wade. Further on down from her, probably the favorite in this workout, Jessica Androzic. And then rounding out the heat, Emily White on the far side of the floor. Coming into this one, Miley Wade with a 5-point lead over Trista Smith. Trista Smith, 4-point advantage over Jessica Androzic. Androzic, 9 points to Larson, and 3 points from Larson to White. Everyone's been saying that Jessica Androzic's the favorite for this workout. So if we mark her down for a win, then that would be 3 points between her and Trista Smith. So we'll keep an eye on that. Miley Wade has a 5-point buffer that she has absolutely earned. And we heard it was Tudor, someone was on here with me saying that she's been closing incredibly hard. Her finishes so far have been 1st, 2nd, and 3 third-place finishes. Incredible consistency from Miley Wade. She's got 5 points to play with here. Well, really 4 points to play with. If it goes the fact that Trista beats her on this, Trista would hold the tiebreaker. James, have you recovered from that men's heat?
No, but I don't think I will for a long time, Brian. That right there alone was just the adrenaline shot I needed. I feel like I've just been getting more tired today, and I'm the most awake I've been all weekend right now.
And that's good to hear, because I think you're going to want to have that energy for the podium celebration.
Oh, you already know, brother.
End game, final time to see it. 15-minute time cap, 3 rounds, 20, 15, 10 strict handstand push-up, 15 cal row for the women. 3 rounds, 20 med ball GHDs, 50 feet overhead walking lunge. And immediately we see 2 different strategies out the gate. Trista Smith attacking these handstand push-ups. Jessica Andrazik rifling them off in the blink of an eye.
Oh my gosh, Brian, how quick was that? That was 15 seconds for 20 strict.
And Miley Wade, a few breaks early on. And that's what Trista Smith is going to want to see.
Exactly. You know, it looks like Miley's lead with her consistency. You know, she's a little bit untouchable right now, as long as she holds that top 5 finish. But Jess versus Trista, if Jess wins this event, 4 spots between Trista, she would win by tiebreak.
Yeah, that would be her 3rd event win of the weekend. I think everyone was expecting her to win 3 workouts this weekend.
For
but
sure.
It was going to come down to how she managed the legless rope climbs and engine room, which she did all right on, but right now she's still trailing Trista for that 2nd spot.
One thing I love is that Jess is committed to her team this year, but yet throwing down as an individual. She made a comment on her Instagram about going indie for a second, but don't worry, I'll be back for the teams. And, you know, after all these event wins and performances, I'm curious if that makes her come back. But Trista was really fast on the rower, but Jess's speed is just something supernatural.
Well, and Emily White on the far side of the floor is sort of in the mix as well here. You know, Emily told me that her gymnastics was, first of all, the thing she's worst at, and second of all, something she hasn't been able to train much. She's sitting 5th place overall, and she's 3rd in this heat right now.
Absolutely incredible. These women are not fearing the dumbbell lunges and the GHDs. You can see by their aggression on this first part that they're not fearing it at all.
Elsie Larson, mid-handstand push-up set, looking over to her left as if she's just casually on a row or an assault bike or something.
Crazy.
And she's got Emily White in her sight, so Miley, back of the pack here.
It has to be controlled aggression, Brian. You cannot do too much in the beginning because that lunge will fail.
You don't say.
Yeah, after that last heat, man. How many fails total did we have? I think we had 2 from Jordan and we had 1 from Brad. Any others I'm missing there in that last heat?
Cam didn't fail, but it was like...
It was so close. And same with Josh at one point. In that first round, it looked like it was going to be tough. So absolutely crazy stuff. Trista, first off, the rower onto her set of 10 strict handstand push-ups. Still looking pretty dang fast.
Yeah, she's going to have a 5 or 6 rep advantage over Jessica Andrazik. No, Andrazik, as fast a cycle rate as humanly possible on these, is going to close it back down, but Trista has been rowing faster than her.
Yeah, her judge is struggling to get the monitor turned on in time. That's how fast she is.
Oh, my God.
It's so funny. I'm seeing Tim, our judge over there, like, mess with it really quick from our Lycan rowers.
Yeah, less than 2:45 getting on to the rowers for the last 15 cals here, so you're looking at a sub-4 minute first half for these 2 women.
Wow. So, yeah, in the qualifier, one thing to talk about is I made the women row a lot. They rowed the same amount as the men. And grip it and rip it, one of the qualifier workouts with gymnastics and rowing and double unders, and we scaled the rowing down this time. So, you know, woman, you did your fair share of rowing to get here. Wanted to make sure it was equitable and equal, fair time-wise to the males for this finale.
Getting close to ditching the rowers here and heading across the floor is Trista Smith.
Wow. 3:35, Brian. 35 seconds faster than your boy, or 25 seconds faster than me. That's pretty insane. And Jess close behind.
Emily White on par with Jessica Andrazik here.
Oh my gosh. Tell me about Emily White,
And here
Brian.
comes Elsie Larson. Emily White,
Wow.
5-time semifinalist. You know, we knew she could win in a workout like Engine Room. She told me she would struggle on the gymnastics. I think she was omitting this one from that comment because,
I mean, is
Jesus.
she considering gymnastics GHDs? Because she ain't even struggling on those, Brian. It's pretty insane.
Oh,
and
she
Miley
didn't
will be
even,
there very soon as well. She's going to come out. I know she's got a plan to go aggressive on the GHD and the lunge, but right now, Brian, these are the 4 fastest paces we've seen overall.
Yeah, and Elsie Larson right in front of us after a 13th place on Engine Room. The rest of her performance is 5th, 6th, 2nd, 4th. I mean, she's been surging up. Trista Smith leaves the GHDs.
Running
as
to the
Miley
dumbbells.
Wade comes there, and that's sending a statement.
It really is. Yeah, that's about a whole 45, 50 seconds ahead. Let's see how Trista makes this overhead position look. Very solid.
Emily White's going to be second to leave the GHD.
Wow.
I mean, we were banking on Andrazik winning this, but so far not the case.
Not the case.
Larson's getting off the GHDs ahead of her as well.
Yeah, it just shows me the strict handstand push-up volume. You know, it was definitely important, but it was not the most important part of this workout. All these females did that unbroken besides Miley.
Well, and what's Miley's MO been the whole weekend? Finish strong.
Yep, 100%. She's great at coming from the back of the pack, and she's really not that far behind, Brian.
Emily White, Trista Smith, now step for step as White continues past the breaking point. You were talking about that if you want to win this, you might have to do that.
Yes, you might have to go past your breaking point and just hold on for dear life, Brian.
Larson takes a break, but it was one of the smaller ones we've seen. She's closing in on the lead here as well.
For sure. I think she has the best overhead position of any of the females in this heat.
Looks
really
Andrazik
confident.
breaks at the 25-foot mark, and I'm going to keep the camera on this view. I want to see if Miley Wade takes a break here. I think if she does, that it's going to be hard to catch, and she is going to set the dumbbells down.
Yeah, I mean, with 3 rounds, anything can happen. We know that third round is the crux, and people are taking the longest rest, so maybe she's just taking a controlled and conservative approach from her coach, Dom. She knows herself best. She may be young, but she is really, really talented and really smart. She's composed. She's got it going, Brian. I can't wait can't wait to see her on the Indy floor at bigger competitions this year.
She's about to head to the GHDs, but we got hands up for both Trista Smith and Emily White. Don't be surprised to see Elsie Larson's judge put a hand up soon as well. The women are attacking this at every opportunity.
Oh my gosh, that transition, very smooth too. Took no rest before they put those dumbbells up.
Trista and Emily overhead at the same time. Trista took a break on the first round. Emily did not. Big questions to answer here.
Yeah, Emily's opting for a step through too. She's not putting her foot down and taking a stand up. I think both these ladies are going to break. Nope, Emily keeps it going. Holy crap. Brian, do you think Trista is feeling any sort of intimidation or pressure from seeing that?
I'm not sure. I mean, it's one of those things that you know if you have it or if you don't have it. So you got to make the right decision for you.
For sure. And a couple slower steps, but she got it. She held them overhead, waited for her judge's call as well. Another vet move. She's going to get to the GHD about 10 seconds before Trista, it looks like.
Elsie Larson unbroken on the lunges.
Wow.
She's now on pace with Trista Smith.
Oh, my gosh. And Miley's just starting that set of second lunges.
And Elsie running back down the floor. Trista trying to keep up with her here. And Drozik's going to break. Miley Wade making her way toward Jessica now. But the battle's on the GHD sit-ups, and we're going to watch this here. Elsie Larson right in front of us. Trista right next to her. Emily White in the background. She wasn't on my radar to win this workout, and she's well in front right now.
It's absolutely insane, Brian. With that 2 unbroken lunges in a row, it's really made her super relevant. Also, her first 3-round buy-in. Yeah, her handstand push-ups flew. She's just doing the whole thing right.
4 minutes until the time to beat. That's not going to be an issue. These are going to be the top scores. It's just a matter of who's going to get 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, I don't know, man. Larson was so fast on those lunges. Any mistake from White, and Larson's got this door wide open. Hands up for both Smith and White. White leaves.
Wow.
Larson and Smith's hands go up at the same time. White running down the competition floor. No room for error, but Emily White has the runway clear for a possible bookended event win competition.
So insane. What I'd love to see is that White got enough of a head start where she could take that quick break if needed, which it might be smart with how those dumbbells are looking at this point. The midline is trashed. You've done all your GHDs. All you got left is about 30 feet of walking lunges. Let's see it here.
Dumbbells up for Smith. Dumbbells up for Larson.
She
White's
goes for
going to continue again.
She goes
Larson
for it.
lunging faster. She's in the
cannot
closer
believe
lane.
it. Larson
Elsie
taking
Larson.
complete control of the event. Absolutely insane. Control of her destiny. Ends with an event win.
Elsie Larson's going to win the finale.
And we got one more step for Emily White here. And she goes down.
Emily White
gosh.
loses it on the last rep.
I cannot believe my eyes. Trista locking it out. Gonna
Trista
take second
Smith.
overall in the event. Making herself very relevant. But oh my gosh.
Holy cow.
LC taking control.
And now we have to watch. That misrep by White could be exactly what Miley Wade needs.
100%. And Brian, they're still well ahead of the other times.
Right, we're at 9:45, so, it's not going to be enough for Larson to close the podium gap, I don't think. Andrazik is coming. Wade is coming. Emily White hunched over.
Jess Andrazik, 50 feet unbroken in the end.
This is where Wade has to go for it as well.
She does. She has to go for it.
And she's going to go for it.
Failure is not an option, and she's increasing her cycle rate.
But White has him up again.
I cannot believe it. Jess makes it. Wade needs this. She doesn't. Brian.
Wade and White. Wade by one step.
Absolutely insane.
I mean, unreal finish here in the women's finale. Elsie Larson, the fastest lunges I've seen in a long time from an overhead position. And Miley Wade, composure at 18 years old, just resounding out across the weekend.
I mean, I think 4 out of 5 of these females are 24 and under. I think Jess is 24 or 25. They're all still so young, Brian. That's the best part about this, is their careers and futures are so bright. Saying this with a dead voice and an emotional voice.
And Emily White on the far side of the floor, I mean, she looks a little bummed, but you got to go for it in that situation. Wow. All official results will be on Competition Corner. Elsie Larson, fantastic performance there. Trista Smith got second place. She beat Miley, which is what she needed to do. But Miley Wade, as she's done all weekend long, just picking athletes off late in the competition weekend. James is going to go take care of business. Jason Ansley for the first time in the booth. What the heck did we just see?
I don't know. That was amazing. What a finish. That's exactly what you want to happen, though.
Yeah, and James was just talking about it. Like, the average age of the 4 women in this heat is like 20.
This is exactly what we want in the sport, though. We've been waiting for the athlete talent to turn over, and I think it started.
It definitely has started. We've seen it all through 2025, and here this is the first opportunity of 2026 for athletes to come and compete. And, you made a late decision to come out here. How are you feeling having watched everything these last 2 days?
I mean, this is good. What a window this is in the Northwest to be able to throw an event like this for a first year. To have the field that James has is, I think, exactly what this area needed. So I look for this to grow.
Yeah, me too, absolutely. He's already communicated just on the live stream in this last heat that he's thinking of next year. He's thinking of the small things he can change, the small things he can add. So if you're watching this, be on the lookout for information from Road Classic 27.
Yeah, I've already had the guys that run this facility have gotten my phone number and said James said that we need to connect next week and figure out things about next year and what we can do better, and maybe the facility isn't big enough, and I'm going to have to say I agree. Like, if this carries the momentum that it feels like it's going to carry, this building can't hold it, and they're building a new facility next door. So I just think the sky's the limit for this. With Wodapalooza leaving the January window, what an opportunity.
Absolutely, and James said it earlier. I mean, the athletes that took a risk to come out here.
Yeah.
His first time doing it, and there were some serious athletes that did that.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, and I love the fact that the young people are the ones that are choosing to take the risk, because it's time for them to make a name for themselves, and you're not going to get better unless you go compete. And, you go back and you start looking at competitions and being picky and choosy about what you do. The best thing you can do is get on the floor and compete and get experience. And
we talked about the young guard. Right there's Brad Alcock, the blue shirt, hugging one of the judges, his friends there. He's actually in the mix for the podium. The third spot on the men's podium, I have no idea what's going to happen.
That 2, 3, and 4, really all of those guys was tight. And over here watching the scores being entered, we obviously left them blind. It's very unique to see. So yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I don't even know, but I'm gonna go into the next room and watch James' excitement shine through once again. Last thing maybe you want to say, Jason, just about James and what you've seen. He's 23 years old. We know what he's done at a competition level, but to take a commitment like this, he only had this idea in August, and what he's managed to pull off in 5 months. You've been running competitions for almost a decade. What can you say about what James has done here? I think the day that I've walked in here and I saw him on a ladder, hanging ropes, measuring, lines to make sure that it was right. Like, he has the mindset to make this thing really good, because if you're not willing to do the work as an event director and an owner, it's contagious, right? As other people see him do the work, it's going to make them want to do the work, and it's going to make them want to do better, and it just all flows that way. And I personally believe that if you're not willing to go in and do every single job that you're asking somebody else to do at some point, then you're not going to get buy-in. And he already has that. He's head and shoulders above where I was in year one. I had to learn all of that the hard way. And what a great human. Like, when he first asked me, well, we were having a conversation about his event. He was getting ready for the World Fitness Finals. He wanted to be the fittest in the world, and he's like, what do I need to do for my event? And I was like, do you need help? And he's like, yeah.
And he's willing to ask for it.
Yeah,
That's also very rare.
And I said, do you want me to come out? And he's like, would you come out? And I was like, yes. He's like, give me your workouts, your flow, your floor maps, your heat schedules. Let me look at everything and make sure you're not, like, making a grave mistake somewhere. And let's, like, fix those moving forward. And he just dumped all of the information on me. And, he just listened. And that's all you can ask for.
Well, James Sprague is absolutely at the forefront of the Mode Classic. You see a few of the volunteers there. This, obviously, like every competition we go to, doesn't happen without those guys. It was honestly a small crew of volunteers here.
It was, and he's still competing, and I'm glad. Otherwise, he'd take my job.
Well, I just want to close it out. Thank you, Jason. I know you got some work to go do, but I'll close out the stream here by saying thank you to Mode Campus. Thank you for James Sprague of having this initiative. Thank you to all the volunteers, all the judges, as James said, all the athletes who took a chance on him. Thank you to Rodri back in Spain. Happy anniversary. It's his 1-year anniversary. He's the guy who's responsible for all the back-end stuff for B.Friendly Fitness and makes this happen on the live streaming side. Thank you to Chad Mueller for doing the graphics, Patrick Clark for supporting me forever in this sport. Thank you to James for giving me the opportunity, and thanks for you guys for tuning in. That'll do it for the first year of the Mode Classic, but as Jason and James have been saying, big ambitions going forward, so be on the lookout for this one next year. Podiums are being tabulated, big prize purses and packs being handed out, and we'll be on the other floor. We're going to try to fire up a live stream on Instagram to bring you guys the coverage of that. For everyone else here at Mode Campus, I'm Brian Friend. Thank you guys for being with us, and we will see you for the podium ceremony and then next year.